Yo. I like it when I'm small. I like it when I'm small. Small is cool. Right there in the background, you can see a little teaser of what's about to go down. And what that is, I think y'all might know. If you watched yesterday, you might know what that is. Actually, you know what? I should leave that as trivia and say, what is that? What is that right there in the background that's about to go down? First person who gets it gets you know what they get? They get right there. They get that right there. That's highly coveted. It's not a Scooby snack. It is the unofficial official sponsor of the PROQUO Show tonight. It is fat-free Newtons. Fat-free Newtons, not the regular Newtons. It's probably the only. I would say probably. I would argue it's the only fat-free food that is better than the non-fat free. You know what I'm saying? Like I put up with a lot of fat-free food, and the taste isn't there, but the fig, right? When you try the fig, yeah, put that on mute. When you try the fig, it's like juicy. It's succulent. It holds the moisture. You know what I mean? It's not the dry crumbly. If you want dry crumbly, you get the regular. But with this right here, you get the juicy. So yeah. So welcome to the PROQUO Show. Tonight is a cool PROQUO Show because it is the 1 year anniversary of the PROQUO Show. It's hard to believe it, even as I say it. It's hard to believe. We got a lot of special people coming throughout the night. Thank you, Tree. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Yes. It's hard to believe it's been a year. Now, it is a year. I have to accept it. And when I think about back to the first PROQUO Show, and by the way, we got some clips tonight of some highlights of some PROQUO shows that have gone on throughout the years. It's just hard to think like, well, first of all, it's hard to think what was my favorite PROQUO show. But when I think of the evolution of the show, or I should say the devolution, it's been cool because we've got a chance to hang out with a lot of our personal friends. One of the hallmarks of the PROQUO Show has been Quo and I both have tried to have people on the show that we know. It hasn't really been like, yo, let's call up some guest that will make us, look cool or whatever. It's really just because we are cool. We're calling the people that we know, and reaching out to them first and foremost. And that has kind of been the hallmark of the PROQUO Show. So just in case you didn't know. Now, last night, I had this banner up there. The 1 year anniversary show tomorrow night, 9 p.m. with new music from Fee and Friends. I couldn't fit everything I wanted to put there like the affiliates, but that was the deal. So maybe I'll be able to change it tonight because I don't have to write tomorrow night. So let me edit this, right? The magic of editing, and then later on I'll change it to Fee and the affiliates because that'll just look fresh. So I love to give you the behind the scenes, you know what I mean, of like how the magic is actually happening. But that's it. Basically, we got some highlights of the show. We got my man Fee coming up. He's got a new release. It's Beast Over Beats is basically what it is. And I'm going to have him tell you mostly about it. I don't want to, spoil necessarily everything about it, but just a little like up, up. That's all you get. You know what I mean? It's like up. No, that's all you get. You see the name, you see who it is, but that's all that you get. So he's got a lot going on. That he will inform you on everything that he's up to, which is really cool. I know he's been doing a lot of stuff. I think we got my man Cody Pope in the building, backstage, chilling in the green room. And let me tell you, the green room has all the accommodations right now. Like we got the green room laid out. We don't. It's just the space. It's an empty void. But we're ready. You know what I mean? We're ready. So we got Cody Pope coming in. We got Fee coming in. We got a few special surprise people popping in and out. And you know what? There's no pressure. And we tell them, we're like, yo, if you can come by, that's how we always do the show. Once you're a guest, you're always a guest. So if you're a previous member, a lot of people texting me too to get the link that I haven't sent them. So, I'll have to do that as well too. Or else they won't be able to come by. They'll just be able to drop in and say hello. Yeah. So what else is new in the world before we jump into everything? My man LD always looking for the link. LD never wants. LD, you know where I send you the link, right? You know how I do. I know I got to send you the other way because some people have preferential treatment. LD's one of those people, so I'm gonna have to send LD the link the way he likes the link. You know what I mean? But yeah, what else is new in the world? So I know personally, I've been working on a lot of music today. I haven't really been on the social media thing today. I was supposed to jump in a few different talks and calls and things like that, but I was into this rhyme that I was working on, and then I get into Spider-Man with my son. We were watching Spider-Man, and that's what happens. we're trying to watch Spider-Man because the new Spider-Man is coming out December, I think it's the 17th. And so brought him all the way back to the 2002 joint, which he was dying to watch. And then now he started up on Spider-Man 2. So we had to cut it short, do a little timeout. But we're up to Spider-Man 2. We're only about an eighth of the way through. So that's what was on the agenda. It was Spider-Man and writing rhymes and trying to finish some songs. And I got one that I'm working on it. I really like. So maybe next week I'll give you a sample of that. Tree saying hi. Fee is saying hi. Tree in the background. I got a lot of comments that I have not posted correctly, but I will get those up later. I got to make sure that I have all of the accommodations ready for people. I got some things I got to show. So I got some of that behind the scenes here. Speaking of things I got to show. Well, I don't know if I want to show that. Let's see. Maybe I'll play a piece of this. So I'm trying to get this NBA joint ready, right? And I played a little piece of it last night. I'm trying to get it ready. It doesn't sound exactly the way that I want it, but I just envision when they're going through the dunk reel, they need to play something like this. So let me see if I can get that up for you. So this is, I call it Flush, and it's kind of a work in progress. But I was talking last night just to the general void of people about ways MCs can supplement their income, and one of them, of course, is other than just trying to chase stream revenue, which is really low paying, right? At 0.0038 cents on Spotify, that's not really getting it done. But one way is to do music placement. So depending on who the client is, sometimes they can pay from anywhere from like 500 to 500,000, quite honestly. So this is one I'm attempting to do. I'll give you a little piece of it here. I call it Flush. It is definitely a work in progress, but that's always how we do it, the PROQUO Show. It's always a work in progress. Yo, talk, stay hush, hush. There you go. When we come through, that's Flush. Flush. Holding it real like what? What? Keep it all on that hush. Let me do it the right way. Y'all want to talk, stay hush. Let's do it the best way. Here we go. Let's bring it back. Here we go. Yeah. Flush.
Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. When we come through, that's Flush. All in it real like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in it real like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush. Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. Throw down, got an awesome offense. Most just get setting up office. Close shop, shut it down, over talking. Go the state to the coast of Boston. Y'all don't even really wanna come pop in. All that junk, I'ma dunk on you off in. When we come through, that's Flush. All in it real like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in it real like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush. Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. Y'all better just stop that talking. Y'all better just keep on walking. When we come through, that's Flush. What? Hush. Hush. When we come through, that's Flush. What? Hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush, hush. When we come through, that's Flush. All in the grill like what? Keep it all on that hush. Y'all don't wanna talk, stay hush.
Yeah. So that was Flush. That's what I'm working on. I wasn't working on that today, but that was what I was working on last week. And got to get that tighter. But, that's the idea. And generally, like, maybe 6 seconds of that would be used. Maybe 30 seconds of that would be used. It's really hard to say. But obviously, the longer it's used for and the more primary the spot is, the more money that the song can fetch for you. And sometimes, if you do it right, a song can have multiple usages. So you could actually picture where part of that song could be used for the NFL, and another part of it could be used for the NBA, and then it's double dipping. And the really good songs, a lot of times you'll see that they use 5 different times. So that's some cool stuff. So maybe we'll get that conversation popping later about ways MCs are trying to supplement income, how they're trying to get it all done. I've just sent out a couple invites for people to come through backstage who are asking. So as they come on in, we will make more room. I am sending one as we speak right now. And I got mine over to the most important man, LD, who I believe is trying to sneak in right now. And I got one more I got to send right here. Here we go. Bang. Bang. That's what you do, man. When you got no secretary, when you got nobody else, kind of banging it on out like that, that's how we get it done. I got one more to do. It's very important for a little later, too. I hear more folks coming through, sneaking through the door. I see you. I see you. I will get y'all up in here in 1 second. And anything y'all want to shout out, any particular memories or thoughts of the show or anything you want to say is great. Or, maybe you're just still thankful and want to give some thanks, because I know that's what people were doing yesterday. I posted today on my Facebook page. I was like, thankful every day, really. It's never just a special day. But person I'm definitely thankful for is my man LD, who's now in the building. What's going on, LD? Oh, I can't hear LD, but I see him.
What's good, my brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm living the dream. How about you? Thanks for asking.
Same, man. Just thankful, as you said earlier, man. Just thankful for every day, and especially this one.
Yeah, man. I hear you there, man. You had a good little break so far?
Yeah. I just hung out with moms and my aunt. A lot of them are getting up in age, so we just, took the advantage of being off work, and not having so much to do, and everybody else being off work to spend some time together, hang out, and laugh.
Absolutely. You know what? I think about the holiday all the time, and I'm always like this. Like with any holiday, it's not just Thanksgiving. I think about what would I actually want to do on that holiday if it wasn't for tradition. I'm not huge on most traditions. I like Christmas lights and stuff. I will definitely, I'm definitely into some of the Christmas stuff. Outside of that, most holidays, it's like if I had my way, I would just go to the movies, go to the gym, maybe go hit up a salad bar or something like that, and get some really go crazy on the bread. Fee knows. You know what I'm saying? He knows where we get the vegetarian plate too in Cambridge. If I was in Cambridge, is a definite spot. You know what I mean? But it's it's the simple things. It's not really like trying to be elaborate, whatever. Of course, I want people to be involved with that, but I start my day off with just let me just go check out an 11 a.m. movie. You know what I mean? And then come back to the crib and then chill. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to get all my volumes. Give me 1 second, bro.
Yes, I definitely hear a lot going on over there.
Yeah, but I agree with you 100%. I want to get up and do something early with the fam, and then
Right.
what I really wanted to do was come back and go to sleep. Honestly.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Extra sleep is great too. I played some 3-on-3 today. That was great. I was trying to maybe get that in yesterday. We were talking about going to the movies yesterday. Actually, we did the and I don't mind saying we did the Wegmans Thanksgiving. So we went to Wegmans, bought some pre-made dinners and stuff like that, and some sides, and we just warmed it up. My wife cooked a couple a little lemon cake and a sweet potato pie. Other than that, it was just it was pretty much store pre-made, prefab. Let's make it easy and bang it out, because it was just us. It was just here. You know what I mean? We didn't do anything elaborate. So
Absolutely. We did the same thing. My mom did the same thing. Like I said, she's getting, she's getting on up there. So there's no need for her to be stressing herself out over all that. I told her, order it. And what you don't order, I'll bring it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Legendary, by the way. What up, Bam?
What up, Jay?
Did you see Legendary at all over the break yet, or no?
I didn't. We talked yesterday. We talked back and forth. He was going to be with his family at the same time I was going to be with mine. So, we talked, but we didn't see each other yet.
Absolutely. Well, shout out to him. Shout out to his fam too. I got all kinds of little things coming in. Trying to schedule the times of people that are trying to drop through. You know what I mean? To not have it all crazy. But anyway, speaking of crazy, you know, I got Fee in the back, and I can't not give Fee an intro. Fee's been on the show before. If you checked out the PROQUO show, you've seen Fee before. But Fee's my dude. Fee's my ace. Fee's not even my day one. He's like my day zero. You know what I mean? Like me and Fee have been rocking like for forever. And you know, I got some records in the back. Actually, it's funny. You know what? Hold on. This is a prop. Hold on.
What it do, Fee?
Check this out right here. It's funny because Fee sent me a tape cover of a cassette. And he sent me the price for the. I'll have him talk about that later. But I also got a cassette cover in here too. I know it's kind of showing up weird, but with the way it's reflecting. But this has it's because of the light. It's got the cassette single cover on the bottom and the sticker here. Now this one that's behind me is the same record, but it don't have the sticker. This is the one I had in my office. It's got the X-Cal sticker. And you know what I'm thinking, Fee? I'm thinking the ones with the stickers, like for vinyl, those gotta be, you gotta find out more about that. But in terms of cassette single prices, man, whoo, we're talking about how vinyl's making a return. And you know, Fee and I, we did that record in, well, that one in 98, the one before this one right here, we did. It's great live theater, right? I'm just like bending off. That one was 97. And so that was the one that came out after that. We even had a record before that in the 80s. That's what I'm talking about, the 80s. And I was thinking about it to myself, and I don't know if I mentioned it to Fee, but I was trying to think, Fee, I'll say this to you while you're backstage in the green room. Think about this. How many groups from Massachusetts, and LD, I got to shut your mic off. I think it's bleeding through. I don't know if it's your headphones or whatnot, but maybe you can mute it either too. I don't have my normal secretary with me today. Thanks. But I was thinking, how many groups had vinyl out in Massachusetts in the 80s that are still rocking? And other than Edo, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if anybody had stuff out in the 80s and stuff. We'll have to talk about that. I know there's pieces of folks who did, but I don't know about any like whole, like, you know, if the group had 4 people, if all 4 of them are still doing kind of stuff or whatever. We almost don't count that first record because it wasn't really ours, but you know, you got to count it. You know what I mean? You got to count it. So Fee has been doing his thing since I really, you know, we're doing our thing because we started doing stuff in the group in the same time. We did this thing called Cruise Control and X-Cal, and then after X-Cal, One Love. And I'll let him talk about his lineage. But the thing is, he's consistently put out music for multiple decades. Right, multiple decades, being an evolving, which is, I love he goes by Fee the Evolutionist right now with especially with this project, and it's so true to form. It's like talking about evolving, but still staying to your core. You know what I mean? And we talk about, you know, staying true to yourself, but staying to his core. And this record that he has out is definitely about that, but still evolving. You know what I mean? Like evolving, but staying like a nice progression. Not in terms like you see some people, they'll go from A to Z and maybe they lose a lot of people along the way, right? Because the change is so crazy. Or some people don't change quite enough and then you don't hear from them anymore. So I'd really like to get into what's some of the magic of longevity, because he's certainly been a person who's done that, and talk to him about what's popping right now for him currently, because he's doing a lot of stuff currently, both him and Rubia. We've had Ruby on before. We'll talk about her. So, yeah, just big shout out to Fee. Kudos to him. Maximum respect for maintaining the longevity, doing the thing that keeps the passion, you know, there, being passionate about for a long time. A lot of people just, they kind of go, I think I'm all set, you know, but what is it, right, that keeps an MC or an artist of any kind really consecutively putting out that kind of stuff and staying true to themselves and staying true to the game and still evolving? So that's a lot of kudos there. And then want to talk to Cody Pope. We got in the building too. So I'm first going to bring in Fee and LD. I encourage you to hang out with us as long as you possibly can, because I know you know Fee, and you're going to have some ideas and questions and thoughts too to throw in there too, which would be great. And then we'll get Cody Pope in, and then we're going to get playing this track, Beast Over Beats. So without any further ado, I present to you Fee.
Hey, what up, fam?
What's good, sir? How are you?
Good, doing great, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
You too, man.
What's good, bro?
What up, LD? Yeah, I like what you're doing with the Freedom Corner stuff.
LD is looking,
I appreciate
crispy
it, man.
with that
Appreciate
Freedom
it,
Corner. Real crispy with that.
Huh.
Real
Yeah, man.
crispy.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yo, so let me get the proper let me get the propers going here. Let me find that banner. There we go. Yeah. The 1 year anniversary show, 9 p.m. with new music from Fee and Friends. So tell us about who the Friends are. What is Fee and Evolutionist for people who don't know?
Fee and the friends are the super friends, right? Yourself, Jay Cruz, Aluna Landing, Cody Pope, DJ Myth, Detention. I just tried to assemble some of the dopest cats that I came up with from my area to represent, because I just wanted to bring the unity of everybody and put them over a hot beat. Matter of fact, the beat is each MC has their own beat that they're rapping over. So it's a track, but it switches up. It's got a bass line, but the beat changes for every MC. So yeah, I just wanted to get the fattest cats on a track, and DJ Myth held down the hook. He crushed it, and all the MCs killed it. So essentially, it's just a cipher track, like an old school boom bap classic cipher track.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I don't know Cody. But did you know personally? I mean, I've heard of his work and stuff like that. I know he's dope, but did you know all the artists personally, or did you have to reach out to some and you were just like, "Yo, I like your stuff," and would you get down to this track? How did that pop up, and
A
what's the
little
deal
bit
with
of
that?
both. The Cody Pope story is a funny story because they had a festival in downtown Nashua. So Ruby sings, and my friend Tom plays guitar, and I play drums and percussion and cajon, and so they were doing they wanted to do a duo, but they were like, you know what? We don't want to do a boring, like, just like a boring acoustic set. We want some hypeness to it. So they said, will you play percussion? And I said, sure. And the way I play the cajon is hip hop. It's like, I play it like it's hip hop, So like we would do like an acoustic set with the guitar and her singing and the cajon, but people would dance and stuff. And we did a set downtown Nashua, and people started gathering around. And after our set, we were picking up. The next act was coming in, and it was Cody, and he was hip. He was rhyming, so he had a hip hop act. And it was funny because I don't know if he even knew that I rapped, but I didn't. I'm not.
Right.
I didn't say
I was
nothing,
talking about
but
that last night. I was saying I think some people probably don't know because of the
yeah.
current manifestations of the group stuff with the cajon and everything like that.
But I said, what up? And his set was dope. And I was like, oh, that kid, okay, he's got some fire. And he lives down the road, literally down the road. So I was like, all right, I'll circle back and connect with him once I get some time. And once I started putting the project together, I had him in mind, reached out to him, and he was cool enough to get on the track. And we built a relationship. We just did a show last night. We rocked out.
Yeah. Definitely want to hear about that.
It was crazy. I let him kind of talk it up, and he put that together. It was phenomenal, man. It was
Absolutely.
really dope. Yeah.
I'm going to bring him in about 2 minutes. So, Cody, back there, I know you chill in the green room. Don't be too chill back there. Like, get off the sofa. Make sure you're finishing up the snacks and everything
Put
like
the
that.
snacks down.
Yeah, just put him down for a sec. Just for a sec. You can go right back to him after, but we can get him in a couple minutes. So, where did the whole, though, idea for this track come from? And I don't know if you want to give it away now, what it's about, or, like, if you want to tell people what it's about. But where did the whole idea for the track come from?
The concept?
Yeah.
The concept.
If you want to go there, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get into it. The concept is that every MC is picking a beast or an animal to represent on the track. So like I said, yo, you got to pick it was fun just seeing what people were picking, because I'm thinking people are going to pick like these vicious animals like tigers and lions, and some people did, but then other people picked like bats and house cats, and it was dope, man. Like if you listen to the lyrics, everybody's got like their own little style.
Yeah. I ended up with one that's not my first choice, but I'm happy with it.
Yeah, man, and the video represents. It's crazy because the video is like a animated version of that, where it's just like the animated manifestation of just creatures beasting over the track, just battling at war. And they scratched on your verse because you said something real cool, and Myth caught on to it, so he scratched, and you'll hear it.
Right. You know what's funny? It's something from back in the day. I don't know if you do this, but I hear that now. Like when I listen to someone's track, I always am listening like what would sound dope scratched. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love how
me
DJs
too.
interpret that.
And not to be like, arrogant, but sometimes I'll say something and be like, oh man, well, I wish I could scratch like that, like because I would scratch on
Right.
that.
I was scratch on that right there. Yeah.
Right, right.
Absolutely. No, when I heard the scratches, I was like, oh, that is dope. Like I wasn't, you're not always thinking of yourself that way, but I'm always thinking when I listen to records, like I'm like, oh, I can't even
Yeah.
not do it.
Well,
It's like always on.
if you really enunciating something and
Yeah.
you just hit like it's just clean, that's I think what
Clean.
makes you say,
Right.
wow, okay, I could hear that. And Mythos, that's what he does. Like that's his thing,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chisel clean. Absolutely.
yeah,
No
man.
mistake. Kind of like this guy behind me. That guy who did that. You know what I mean? That
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He's
No
chisel
doubt.
clean too.
No doubt.
Shout out to DEF.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I want to get Cody. So we're gonna get you in about 30 seconds. So how before we even go into the joint and everything like that too, I want to say it now and we'll say it later. I know we'll say it multiple times, but what's the full name of the song? How do people get it? Where is it? What do you recommend people listen to this track?
Yeah, man. It's everywhere. It's available everywhere. You can go to YouTube. It's Fee the Evolutionist. The name of the track is called Beast Over Beats, and it features all Professor Lyrical, J Cocaine Cruz, DJ Myth, Detention, A Lunar Landing, Cody Pope. But yeah, if you just go to Fee the Evolutionist on any of the digital streaming platforms, you'll see. This is my first release. You talked about us doing records since like the 80s, but
yeah, bro.
I never put a record
as a solo artist.
Never.
Never.
It was always in a rock band, in a folk band, in a jazz
I
band.
knew that. I knew that when I was putting it in Spotify, and I was like, yo, this is gonna be the only joint that Fee actually has solo. I was like, that's crazy. For as much stuff as you've done, to actually not have a solo thing is shocking probably to a lot of people. They'd be like, what? How does you know what I mean? But,
well, I set the bar's high now, because now whatever I put out, because y'all killed the track, so I'm like, oh man, people are gonna have
following
this expectation.
the lead, bro.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of killing the track, let's get Cody Pope up in here. So Cody,
Yep.
We're knocking on the door. We usually banging. Oh, there he is.
Yo. What's up, everybody?
What's good,
Cody.
Mr. Pope?
Yo, appreciate you guys having me here.
Absolutely.
Cody, what's good?
I don't know if you could hear LD there, but he was like, what's good? What's good?
Hell yeah.
Now, Mr. Pope, you are in a slick-looking kind of setup right there. You look like you were in the actual studio. Is that the home studio, or where you at?
Yeah, this is the headquarters, man. This is Hellhound Publishing in downtown Nashua. It's my record label and podcast lounge and my base of operations where I do all my stuff.
Dope. It looks it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man. You know, my background changes with what I decided to put up weekly. So I like the painting though. There, it keeps you kind of committed. I like that. So how long have you been an MC, my friend?
So I put out my first mixtape in 2012. So I'm coming up on almost 10 years now. I've been playing I played in like punk and hardcore bands though. So I started playing music when I was like 14, 15, and now I'm like 32. So I've basically been doing music half my life, but really been doing hip hop for real for the last like decade.
And what's the deal with the studio? How about the studio evolution there?
Same thing. I've been in here pretty much for a decade as well.
But I mean, how did you even have you always been behind the boards kind of thing too, or what's
Nah? So that's what's crazy is honestly, when I was playing in bands and stuff, I had no concept of like engineering, recording, whatever. I just showed up to the studio and did what I needed to do. But when I got into doing hip hop, it was like obviously my first time not being in a band, and I just needed to figure out how to facilitate my like creative sense on the spot. I got sick of booking studio time, having to wait 2 weeks to get in the lab. You show up to the studio and you got 2 or 3 hours booked, and you know it's like that wasn't conducive to how I make things. So
absolutely,
it's just been a no pun intended, but it's been an evolution of like trying to figure out what resources I need to completely like fulfill the whole mechanism.
Dope. You know, I think Fee. I think Fee can correct me if I'm wrong. Fee, were you probably the first person ever to do a hip hop show in Nashua? Like, was there?
I think we might have been, because we did a show at the Bounty. You remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
So that might have been the first one.
That was probably like what, 90, 90? 91?
Yeah, we probably
maybe?
were. I wasn't. I mean,
Wild.
yeah, I would say, yeah. That's probably true.
Nashua was not a mecca for not. You know, it's actually there's a lot more going on now than.
Well, you know why? Because you got people like Cody that are unifying people, and they're a magnet, and they're making it happen. If you don't have the scene, they talk about community and the scene. That's all. When you say those words, I love those words, but that's people. That's not a magic word. That's people like Cody, or people like myself and other people that want to make that happen. And like dude, last night, I want to have him tell you about the show last night. It was ridiculous, dude. It was ridiculous. And
Please
so
do.
if we keep putting shows together like that, then I just feel like the scene's going to get bigger and better. And Cody, tell him about the show.
I'm happy to, man. So I've been booking shows for a long, so if you haven't picked up by now, I pretty much have tried to do everything myself as much as possible.
I know a little about that.
It's after being in bands for so many years and doing the touring circuit and all that, it sucks to have to depend on other people to make decisions for you. So that's how I developed this whole ecosystem that I'm living in. And part of that was doing the shows as well. So I had a residency in Pelham for about 3 years, and I did a weekly Friday and a bi-weekly Thursday. And it was amazing. We got to facilitate touring acts from all over the country. We had people from New Orleans, from Texas. We had people like Ed O.G., Rex. We had ADM. Just amazing opportunity. As a hip hop fan, I was geeked to be a part of these shows. And then it was on the business side, it was oh, I'm really learning how to maneuver within this realm that I want to live in. And obviously that kind of went to the wayside. And after the whole COVID thing, started to slow down or whatever, being in Nashua all my life, when I grew up, we had Drifters and the Nashua American Legion, and that was pretty much it. But as a 14-year-old, that was Mecca for me. I went to shows every single week of my life, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. But now as a functioning musician, there's really no live music scene out here. That the Gate City Music Fest that Fee was talking about where we met, that was almost 3 or 4 years ago now. And they pretty much haven't done it since.
Wow.
Yeah. Which to me is crazy because I understand that Nashua isn't Manchester or Boston or Cambridge or whatever, but there's 90,000 people that live here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's if a fraction of these people care about the art form as much as we do, then we have something here for ourselves and for people that are trying to do the touring circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. You can sustain hip hop on a 25,000 population. You could have
straight up.
People tend to think Cambridge. I lived in Cambridge for a long time, and Cambridge is not a huge population. It's barely, it's about 100,000.
Sometimes you have to show people, though. You know what I mean? I think that's the phase that we're at. Is that it's a good culture, it's a good vibe, and I think it can get bigger because I think there's other people that will see how cool it really is. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The physical space. The difference from you talked about Manchester. You talking about, for people who don't know, who listening and watching, we're talking about New England, and we're talking about very southern New Hampshire and Massachusetts, and from Boston to where Fee and I are from, up in Greater Lowell. Lowell is 20-25 miles from Boston, and then Nashville, what is it, 15, 10? I don't even know, right?
Maybe 10 miles, depending on which way you go.
Yeah, and then it's the same distance to Manchester, right? It's just a little bit
exactly
more. They're all within the area that most cities in a lot of other states would call the same area.
And at the show, Cody had people rhyming from Lowell, Jay Faith. He had Conflict, who was from Roxbury.
Jay Faith, shout out to him.
Yeah, a Lunar Landing from Maine. You know what I mean? Myself from Nashua, Cody representing Nashua. And Mo Flow, I think he's from the area too. So
and Nasty was there, who's from Vermont, and he also was the manager and DJ for Pro Era. So that was a really cool treat to have him come out and do cuts on records and play a bunch of records that he worked on, and
that was dope. That
was wild.
That was dope.
And that, to me, those are the two big inspirations for trying to facilitate the shows. One is obviously I hate to use the word, but the networking, where it's I get to meet people who've been doing this for 20, 30 years and people who've been doing this for a fraction of the time that I have. And we all get to be in the same place and exchange that information, exchange that art, share that knowledge. All of that stuff is just so amazing to me. And then the other aspect of it is really to contribute to like what I reference as the circuit, where a couple of years back when I was at my like heaviest touring schedule, we had this crazy New England circuit where you could, as an artist, if you were like going on a tour, you could do almost 2 to 3 weeks in New England, because there was a bi-weekly in Portland, Maine. There was a weekly in Portland, Maine. There's a monthly in Burlington, Vermont. There's the weekly in Manchester, New Hampshire. There's stuff going on in Rhode Island all the time. So basically it was all different hip hop artists from different areas facilitating these tours. And that was huge, because it was like, people, cause like for me, it's like, I've been fortunate that I got to like tour the East Coast and do the Midwest and like play shows in crazy places. But like people in the West Coast don't know who I am like that. You know what I mean? I haven't had the opportunity to like get that reach. So to be able to create like a viable touring network that I can afford to live on has been like the most beneficial thing to my growth as an artist.
I think I did come try to check you out once. I don't know if I managed to succeed. You were promoting something like, it was like kind of a hookah lounge kind of place.
Yeah, that's where my residency was. So we did 3 years there.
I went through to see you. I saw your name was on the thing, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been hearing about that dude. And I went through, and you had some group out there. It was real like trippy kind of hip hop. They were up on the stage. I can't really remember all the details about it, but I was just chilling. I was by myself, and I just went in there, and I don't think I really got this bill with you. You were probably running around doing the thing behind the scenes, but there were a few people there that I knew, and this was probably 5 years ago, and I want to say,
wow. I was gonna say, 'cause I was there from 2015. I was there from like 2014, 15 to like 2017, 18.
Yeah, I think it would have been 17. It was just before I moved out. I moved out here in 17, and so
that was probably right around the time then.
Absolutely. LD froze up, so we're going to add him here and get rid of this one. LD, as a matter of fact, since you back in, what is the size of Jacksonville? Jacksonville? What's the size of Jackson?
I was just trading phones so I can get you an accurate number. Give me 1 second, bro. I believe it to be about 100,000 proper in Jackson, but the surrounding areas are so big. And
that's my point. It's like a lot of these cities, man, that's like the hub for sort of, an area or whatever. And there's only like 100,000 people there. And I understand, like with the Cambridge idea, obviously Boston's right next door. So really it's closer to 500,000 people, right, in the immediate area. But my point is, all of these cities have that population, and we really do stay very secluded in New England, right, to our like local areas, where in other parts of the country, like in Mississippi or whatever, you got to drive for hours before there's something that you would viably think there might be a hip hop show there. Am I wrong with that, LD?
Sorry, I got to interrupt. No, Mississippi, one of the best places I ever played on tour. I played Jackson, Mississippi on my tour in 2016, and we played Offbeat, and it was one of the best shows I ever did. And like, it was at a record store, so it was like we got there early. People were record shopping, checking shit out, and then we played right on the floor. And they had like a big screen above us. They were playing like anime clips while we were performing and shit. It was wild. Wow, they had people coming in with hot food, like food trucks outside. It was crazy. It was so cool. And like, even when I played in like punk and hardcore bands, like we did Tupelo a bunch, and like Mississippi just always shows so much love to live music. No matter how many, I've been there probably 3 or 4 times at least. And every time I've gone and rocked there, it's like some of the best people ever.
Man, thank you for that. They actually give us a number of 166,000.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the live music is all good, and Offbeat is actually one of the homies. I don't know him directly. A lot of my affiliates know him. DJ Venom owns that place. It's a real cool place. Yeah, no doubt.
Dope. Yo, Fee, you gotta let us know, man. What is the deal with playing this? Like, this is so exclusive. I feel like, I don't know if we should give it to them yet. I mean, are they able to?
Oh, we got to give it to them. Yeah, you got it. I don't even know I don't know if some of the cats on the track even seen this yet, but
absolutely, yeah. I don't know if Quo's seen it. Did Quo mention you, LD, if he saw it?
No,
I don't know
sir.
if he saw it, because Fee's been keeping this real under tight wraps. I know I have it. I don't know. He put it in the.
Can't wait for you guys to see it. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, let's get into it. So, I'm gonna Make sure y'all are muted up. We're gonna run this. This is Beast Over Beats, and
Beast over Beats.
And it's produced by who?
Fee.
That's it, man. Fee's the producer, the writer, the connector. I don't know if everybody was catching that. Produced by Fee. Fee Beats. All right, as they say. So we're gonna run it right here. This is the premiere of Beast Over Beats. Peace.
Over Beats. Fee.
No. We gotta get it proper. Right at the beginning.
Beast over Beats. Fee and the affiliates. I got lions in the jungle, gorillas in the mist, ripping this carnivorous, flows amphibious. My click spit it wicked insidious, it's hideous, dirty flows, we ain't the prettiest. Sick of all this mumble rap and gibberish, oblivious, thinking that fans are idiots. I went and got the best in the city, it's the grittiest. Beast over Beats, Fee and the affiliates.
I king, bring flow that's ferocious. Busting out of bars, quote coming for them poachers. Call my contacts, leave bones for the vultures. King of my habitat, the future of posters. 6-figure check with a pride I approach this. Focus, hungry for a neck. Better run before you sweat. Got the main in effect. Hit pro like Fee, we need the respect.
The dominant competitor, any cipher I ever been. Silverback gorilla for real, I'm a battle veteran. I never been afraid of a challenge. Spit in the 8 with any mighty Joe Youngs. I go planet of the 8s. Hold up, bathing them quick in the flow for all them naysayers. Walk away beating my chest like NBA players. Commentators are common haters who talk iller. Who you gonna call when you know that the Godzilla?
Beast over Beats. Fee and the affiliates.
Silverback, back gorilla for real. I'm a battle veteran. Go planet of the 8.
Locked down in my housebound house cat, eating catnip, taking house cat naps. But I don't sleep, I'm still tapping beats, whether on guitar or on my MPC. And that shit ain't free, it'll cost you 9 lives. Now I got 18, I wipe the slate clean. When I leap tall buildings, I defy all laws. Records with my claws while you on all fours.
Coming straight from out the cave, dropping guano when I fly by. Your flap gums, I flap wings in the night sky. Soaring high above the nonsense, my content compliments the flows, and I'm an overall nice guy. From Transylvania to Gotham City, I'm rocking with the best in the vicinity. Epitome of what it means to be efficient, never gimmicky, just global bard. Sending sonar for all MCs with the dope bars.
Fee hit my line, need me to rip lines. Spit shine to click time, rip rhymes, I get mine. Fit fine, I grip minds, wherever spit flies. It's time to shift lines between the split skies. Most know, Pope chose, all just the holy flow. Cody Pope, never slow, higher below the low. Don't pass my dope, just watch movies and smoke. Pass guard, laugh hard, make the opponent choke.
Beast over Beats. Fee and the affiliates.
Silverback, back gorilla for real. I'm a battle veteran. Go planet of the 8.
King of my habitat, hungry for a neck, for a neck, hungry for a neck.
Pass guard, laugh hard, make the opponent choke.
Hey, baby.
Oh.
There it is.
Yo,
I got
them
you guys
cuts
on mute.
is hard, bro. Them cuts is hard.
Woo-wee. Cuts is razor
Beast
sharp.
over Beats.
What a banger, yo.
Definitely.
I'm honestly like so honored to be part of that track, man. There's just like so many killers on that.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of killers, I'm trying to figure out what animal was Cody Pope. It was kind of.
I know it was it almost just looked like me as like a gremlin.
All right. Gremlin. Okay. I got you.
I don't know. Fee, you picked it. What would you call it?
He's more than. I wouldn't say a gremlin. I'd say a warlord.
A warlord.
Yeah.
A war beast.
Yeah, that sounds way cooler.
War beast.
Yeah, I like.
Yeah. Get the
wildebeest
sledgehammer. I love when he comes flying through the sky with his sword. It's dope.
I think every video you do should be that way. That was dope. You should have like everything be like animated, and let's use the same characters all the time. Like if ever I'm on another track, be like, "Yep,
all right, we gotta do part 2."
Yeah.
Cypher part
Maybe not
2.
every video, but you know what I'm saying? That was fresh though. That was fresh. It's good to see people being out the box, creative with this stuff, because it's harder right now. You know what I mean? Getting people together, filming videos, doing our stuff is a challenge. I mean, how do you feel about the video overall, man? Is it exactly what you wanted to have? Is it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I was trying to get people together, but this cat in Virginia that won't come down to the
Telling
video shoots. So
Telling you.
No, man. It was. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Real happy with it. And what'd you think? You digging it? You like how it came out?
Yeah, absolutely. It's. I mean, whatever that is, I would watch that movie. You know what I'm saying? Like if that comes out, like I mean, if it has been, I don't know, man. I'd watch that movie. That's right in my lane, anyways.
Yeah, share it, man. It's out now, so share that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, in fact, what I want to do is grab the YouTube link of that too, so people can check that out as well too. I'll get that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'll be pulling that up while we speak. Don't let me stop you. Y'all just keep on talking. I'm looking up Fee's video here.
Hell yeah. I saw a comment earlier asking where you could find my music, and pretty much anywhere you look. I don't know why I just had to lean in so much. Anywhere you look, Cody Pope, Spotify, YouTube, all that stuff. I try to make my music available everywhere, so should be easy to find. Shout out to that person.
Cody Pope is everywhere.
That was the homie asking that question. That was the homie.
Hell yeah.
Here's the link, everybody. Right
Fly.
there.
That was Fly, man. Trying to figure out where he was at, man.
Yeah, I just put that in the chat. So that's the actual YouTube link over there. We ran it through the actual video, hoping we wouldn't get shut down. So it's always good to not be shut down. And we are not shut down right now. The comments can actually still come through, which is always a nice thing. You want that to happen, because we get shut down quite often when we play YouTube stuff. So yeah, dope. So anybody want to check that out? That's the place to hit it up. That's the link. Thanks, Tree. I'm sure Fee appreciates it as well. Fee, what else is coming up, man?
Got a lot of stuff in the pot cooking, man. So I get some stuff following up right after this, and then I got some live joints with the live band that are gonna hit as well. And I want to do a lot of shows with the live band, putting that all together now. So
that's the most. Yeah,
I'm excited.
Are you guys? I mean, and Cody, this for you too. I mean, I know you're involved with promoting shows and stuff. I was saying the other day on a few shows that I was speaking on that I've actually started to see the uptick for next semester. Things like the inquiries now starting to come through that I wasn't seeing before. Normally, I mean, for me, booking stuff is sort of a 50-50 mix between stuff that I will self-solicit myself for, that I go, oh, yo, I think I'd be good for that, and then pitch it, right? And then the other half is probably people just finding me. What I'm noticing is that went away last semester. There were a few things, right? There were a few things that would come through, but now I start to see all the inquiries again for coming up. I say semester, but starting after the new year coming up. Are you guys seeing that, or what's your feel from being out there doing some shows? Do you feel like people are now ready and we've turned a corner, or what do you think?
I definitely see people being ready to rock, especially like I've been lucky to kind of have this experiment going on with the Wednesday night rap showcase. And like the first one that I did, I strictly picked all Nashua people because I wanted to like get people that weren't a part of our hip hop community to come see what we're doing. And then after that one, like the night after that show ended, I started getting DMs from artists from all over the place being like, yo,
I saw you got Flex Matthews, my man out here, Flex Matthews on one of your nights. That's dope. Shout out to Flex.
So it's been really cool to see people get back to getting another show grind and seeing people booking tours again and stuff like that. It gives me hope that this live music thing will get back to flourishing.
Dope. What about you, Fee? And you, LD?
Yeah, man. I'll let LD take it. I'm gonna keep been on the road. Keep rocking shows. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I actually, to be perfectly honest, I missed the question. I'm sitting here.
Oh no! I was just saying. Do you think? I mean, I was just saying with you guys that have been out there doing some shows or whatever. Like the phone is starting to ring more. The emails are starting to ring more. I got things that are scheduled now for January and a bunch for March, and so at least the inquiries, right? They have things that will probably make happen, but the inquiries are there, and I wasn't seeing that previous semester. People were still like, I don't know what to do with this, right? This weird reality, like. You got to insure a show, and especially if they're bigger, it's like, how do you even do this at a bigger spot and not think you're going to lose your shirt? Do you think we've turned the corner? And, what's the vibe that you were taking from, I mean, you've been out there, you've been seeing the clubs and stuff. Like, do you think the world is ready now, or we turned the corner, or we still got more work to do? What's the deal?
I think all of that is true. I think we're turning the corner. They're definitely reaching out more. I'm actually, it's funny that y'all talking about that, and I can't pay attention because I'm talking to a club owner right now.
There you go.
There you go. So that answers the
question. I'm trying to get
sign,
Fly
yeah.
on in New Orleans, man. I'm trying to get a show
Right.
for Fly right now. So
That's
yes,
right.
they're more receptive to it. Yes.
Man, shout out to
And I knew he just did New Orleans, so that was the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's just for a lot of us, it's muscle memory, but you know, getting back out there and making it happen is a whole different thing from just sitting around and doing it online, which a lot of us have been forced to do. How about other streams of revenue? Like, what are y'all thoughts about the whole stream game? Is that what you're shooting for with this fee, like streams or a mix, or is it shows? Like, what do you think is the big prize really with music right now?
I think it is opportunity for sync, and that's why the way that I produce the track, everybody's a writer, so we're all splitting it evenly. And I'm you know, it takes a while. It's not instantaneous, so I haven't even really started. Right now, I'm in promotion mode, but once we get a little bit of a buzz, I'm gonna try to hit up some of the publishers. I have some good relationships.
Right.
You know, you talk about NBA. We did a song for Mickey Ward, the boxer that made it on HBO, and then they grabbed that same song, to your point, for NBA. It was on NBA, had a song on you know, Amazon Prime, and there's some good money in sync licensing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's one of the streams, playing live, the little money you get from the streaming and stuff. Just you got to put it all together, you know. And then you get some odd jobs too. Some, like, you know, that you get some weird custom stuff that comes.
A lot
through.
Of weird stuff is coming through right now.
Yeah,
I got library shows coming through. Like, I'm like, library shows. All right.
It just takes a while. It's hard work, but you know, it might not be like a full-time gig. But I always say, like, if I'm gonna do a hobby, I'm doing a hobby that pays. So I'm happy about that, and you know, I love it. And to the longevity question you asked earlier, you just gotta love it. I'm gonna do it. It kind of makes me upset when you hear some older MCs be like, you know, nah, the game's passed me by, or that's BS. Look at KRS-One, or younger kids that are like, that say, oh, you know, you got to be a certain age, and it's like, well, you should be, because it's a trend for you. You probably quit next year.
Right.
I'm never gonna stop doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was watching Grandmaster Cass the other day on Drink Champs. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, dude's still up there, vibrant, doing his thing. It's great. I mean, shows out here.
Yeah.
The Kennedy Center's got. I mean, the KRS-One show. Remember, I was sending that to LD recently. The KRS-One show that's coming out here is crazy.
That's dope,
just the
man.
bill they have for KRS-One is crazy, and the tickets are like at the Kennedy Center, right? This isn't like a stadium. You know what I mean? It's Kennedy Center. The tickets. The average ticket price is like $300.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, cats are making it right now. This is going to be the biggest boom. My opinion is, and I'm going to have a guest coming up a little later to speak to us more about Sync Publishing.
Dude, use the funny story about KRS too. We opened for him, and
multiple times actually,
$8 green room. He had food in the green room, and we ate it thinking it was for us. And KRS was like, you guys ate my food. He was cool about it though.
It was such a, you know, Miss Melody was looking out though. She was looking out. But yeah, man, it's like, you know, cats like that have managed to figure it out. You know, sometimes it's a question of, do you have the sort of early classics that can carry you? And then, you know, the dude's made like 20 albums or something.
His new stuff listen to his new stuff.
Really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Real good, man. Yeah.
Probably the best I've ever heard him do was his latest album. And it's not going to get, no one's going to listen to it. I mean, when I say no one, I mean no one outside of his own circle. It's just people aren't checking for stuff unless it's promoted with these massive budgets. And I understand it, because there's over 60,000 songs a day that show up on Spotify.
But he's smart though.
That's the number.
He's smart because he does the multiple stream. He's playing live. He gets paid good. He's got the royalties coming in. He's still got
speaking fees. Is really the big spot for him. Speaking fees, definitely.
Oh,
When he performs, when he speaks, the same thing I do. When you show up, they do these mini shows. You talk. I mean, I know what his price tag is. I know the money he's making. That man is living well. Yeah. He's living well. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you look at it and you say, maybe having a classic that I was screwed on 20 years ago isn't such a bad thing, right? You know what I mean?
Hey, we had from our tapes. Speaking of, you were talking about our tapes. Tapes are selling for the cassette tapes are selling for $120.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I got one, I think. I mean, I might have two.
And they'll take as many as you got. They'll take them. So it's like,
Yeah.
If we knew that then, we would have made a whole lot more.
I see that on the vinyls too. Like you see the vinyl pop up, it'll be like,
That's
crazy. Yes and no. I mean, sometimes you'll see a vinyl. Sometimes it'll be a 60. It'll be like, how many they want. They want like 50, and it's like I have trouble with that too because I'll get a call once a year now. It used to be like once every couple months. It'll be like once a year now. Someone will call and be like, I want to buy 50 of Butter Messenger, and I'll be like, okay, and or it'll be mostly email, right? And it'd be like, I want 50 of them. And I want them signed, and I want them unopened. And it's like you see what they're selling for. It's like, dude, you're gonna resell it for $100 to whatever your little European market is. And I don't even want to sell that. I'd rather just keep them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like at some point, I mean, 100, okay, but like $50, nah, dude. Like I only got like 30 of them. You know what I mean? I'm not trying.
It means more to you than just some scratch.
It depends who it's going to. Like if it's going to a real fan, it's like, yeah, absolutely. But some dude just selling them again, it's like.
When I asked DJ Myth to do the track, I called him up afterwards. He said yes, and then I called him up, and I was like, yeah, I was in a crew called Excalibur, and he's like, I have the records. I double copy mix them and stuff. Up at the rap night.
Give me some. I only got a few left.
So that was cool to hear. But yeah,
absolutely.
It's a small world, man.
Absolutely, yeah. The trick is for all of us as artists, it's finding people who are really supportive of what you do. You can live off of like 100 to 400 core fans if you actually have that many. And I always tell people, I say this with LD, like I got like 30 to 50, you know what I mean? Like 30 to 50 people I know that when I put something out, they're going to call, they're going to buy it, that's it, 30 to 50. It's just quite honestly, it's like when you put as much time that you do into many things, Cody was talking about it too. And then I got another subgroup of, maybe another few hundred people in there that they're sort of casual.
Interesting.
Like, yo, I love your stuff. If you're right in their face, they'll buy it. But it's like, if you can generate that 100 to 400 people, and that's minimum, right? If you can do that, it's someone like a KRS-One, they got like, 40,000 people like that.
Yeah.
But if you can do 100 to 400, you can live decently, supplementing your income better than you could in any other kind of like, side hustle kind of thing that you could do. And I think people miss the boat on that a lot of times. It's like, what are you doing to really bring in those core people who like, yo, if you drop something, I want it kind of people.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
That's the angle. Mr. Pope, what is that symbol there? Is that a burning book? I'm trying to figure that out.
Yeah, dude. So that's the Hellhound Publishing logo, and it's basically it's a book with flames, and it's kind of like indicative of a couple different things. Obviously, one being from like the hip hop culture, it's like that essence of like having fire to always write down. But then the three flames also represents like the multiple art mediums that I try to pursue, which is like usually music, writing, and podcasting.
Dope. I got it. I like it. Did you do the logo? Did you have someone else do it? Because you sound like you might be the cat who did it too. I mean, knowing everything you're saying.
I did the pencil on paper like terrible version, and then hired a real artist to do it the right way.
Gotcha. Fee does some logos too, man.
Oh man,
I know he's a man of a million talents, dude.
He
didn't even tell me about the beat production thing. I'm gonna have to harass him about that now.
He'll sneak it out. Yeah, he'll sneak it out.
All of us on this call are hustlers, man. All four of us.
Straight up.
You got to multitask if you want to make stuff happen.
Exactly. And just like going to what you were saying is like you could be a great lyricist, you could be a dope artist, and that could work for you, but like ultimately you have to want to like be your own business and be able to generate multiple revenue streams outside of just like whatever your main hustle is. And there's so many ways to generate revenue streams, and it's just a matter of like, some of these things will make like fractional pennies or whatever the case is, but when you start adding all of that stuff up and keeping it consistent, that's your foundation for survival. And it's like that's how I've like been able to forge a path for myself, as where some of my peers that I've been coming up alongside maybe haven't done as many things as I've done in terms of like travel or earning income or putting out records or whatever the case is. But like all of that is just from like collecting all of those different streams and trying to learn how to like put all of that stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yo, I got a little clip I want to play for y'all, if y'all don't mind. I'm going to play New Year's of obviously the last New Year's. Just a little clip of, I think it's interesting, the subject matter we're talking about. So it's this clip is, I think it's just Quo and I in this one. Let me get it up here in a sec and take y'all back through memory lane. Hold on. Yeah, for real. I said the same thing. You know, I was like, yo, Jay, your younger brother? Or like, for real, you have to squint. You know what I mean? I mean, like, whoa. And even in fact, if you
We're talking
even
about
your
Jay's
older
dad.
brother, it's like no chance he's your dad, man. That's crazy. I mean, maybe your beard is aging you a couple of years too, as well.
Be,
I remember you without all that. You know what I'm saying?
I had the chin strap and all that.
Yeah. So
Who was that?
It's important, man. Healthy living is important, man. So I can't wait to hear about that. I can't wait to really get to meet your dad. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we've met, but very briefly. You know what I mean? And see what's behind the J. Crew story. Really let me understand and situate. And I know everybody's different, right? Like I'm really not too much like my dad in a lot of ways, and in some ways I am.
Me and my dad are damn near identical, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. So I see my dad, like I'll pass by the mirror, I'll be like, oh man, I look like my dad. But most people can only see my mom because the resemblance is so small. I make the same faces and stuff. Especially, like her side of the family, they have the same facial structure. And I definitely have that.
No.
I rebelled against it when I was little because I didn't want people to tell me I looked like a woman. I was like, I don't look like my mom.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, but I'm pretty much my mom. You know what I'm saying?
I got a good balance for sure. I lucked out with that.
I got like the body of my dad and like the face of my mom, which is kind of. But I'll see my cousin on my dad's side or something, and I'll see their picture, and I'll be like, yo, okay, I see. I see it really clearly because I'm so biased to the mom thing because I've been hearing it my whole life, but I see it. But yeah, it's crazy, man. That whole lineage is crazy. I mean, I'm getting more into that too. We think about this at New Year's, people talking about what they're going to do, how they're going to live life different. You start thinking, if you're a parent, you start thinking, perhaps, you're going to spend more time with your kids, or you're going to work on your business more to help your kids, whatever. Right. We were talking about it before. You just start talking about this whole lineage thing and talk about, like my son, I was saying before we started, he's real conscious of like, what happens when we get older? Like, daddy, like, what's the oldest you can live to? And I'm a little older than like your dad is compared to you. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking about these things already. My parents are young compared to me, but what's funny is he sees my parents as older because they're grandparents. So he sees them as older, but then he does the math and he's like, that's not really that much older. You know what I mean? And he's like, are you going to look like that? And you're like, you don't know,
Questions arise at that age.
Yeah,
he's a smart boy in general. I mean, you guys have done.
And here is Jay's dad right here. So I wanted to get to.
We can, yes.
That's Jay's only chance in his life he can shut his pops up. He's like, let me hit it. No one gets to shut their pops up, man. They can never do that.
You guys are good for my ego. We have to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a new year, and I'm excited because my son was talking to me about this, Pro, how you guys are doing this podcast. And he said, Dad, let's talk. I'd like to have you as my guest on the podcast January 1st to talk about, New Year's resolutions, goals and plans, and to make 2021 a better year than 2020. And I said, hey, no problem. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. And that's where we at. And it's like, how have we done? You know what I mean? Like, how are people I love looking back at some of this stuff and you see like, was 2021 a better year for everybody? And like, how did 2021 work out for y'all? And are you proud of what you did? And do you want to do more? And let's hopefully make it not just about the resolutions, but really about sort of that, substantive kind of sustaining kind of effort that we do all year so that we don't, try to put all our eggs in that January 1st basket, like everybody running to the health club on January 1st. But right now, I'll tell you what, I was in there today, empty. You know what I'm saying? It's like the day after Thanksgiving. That's the day to get in, yo. So it's crazy looking back, man. It's taking those trips down memory lane and kind of seeing like, especially on New Year's, we right off the cusp of another holiday and be like, what is it we trying to do now? You know what I mean? Like, what are the plans? And so it's been great having Fee up here to talk about some of that and to say what's coming up. And Fee, I heard you talking about the release too. Like, when do you have the next one? Do you have a date for us on this? Because I think I know what the next one is, which I'm looking forward to as well. Any dates or anything like that, or no? Oh, I got you on mute. My bad. I muted you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, February.
All right.
I was thinking I was gonna do follow up real quick and do something on Christmas, but it's too fast to do that. So by the time I build this one up, you know what I mean. It's gonna be. I want to do something in February. It's gonna be it's a conscious song. I can't wait for you guys to hear this one too.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Maybe maybe I didn't know what that track was going to be. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I think I switched it up on you. Yeah.
Hey, if you guys can hang around for, I understand if y'all got to go, but I got another guest in the back who I'm very excited has come through. Her name is the Angel. She's an amazing person. She's been a blessing to me. I actually met her through Clubhouse and through a couple mutual people on there that I've been talking to. And Quo and I had the pleasure of talking with her sort of behind the scenes. And she was kind of, I feel like, mentoring us through a lot of navigating the waters and so forth. And she's amazing in terms of music. Fee, you might even remember some of her work on the artist side, and she's scoring movies now. She's just an all around talent. I don't want to overdo my intro, or else I might steal some of her thunder. But I want to get her up here. And we were talking about, Angel, I know you can hear us in the back. Before you come up, we were talking a little bit about different revenue streams and things that artists are doing. We were talking about a little bit about sync earlier, and whether people should go the licensing route and things like that. And I know you have a wealth to talk about. We're not going to jump right into that right off the top, but I'm excited that you're here. Going to bring you in, and thanks for making the PROQUO Show anniversary show. Angel, what's going on?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good to see you here in these weird, unfamiliar surroundings that actually have video. Look at that,
I
right?
know that we can see each other is so weird.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm hoping Quo can get in before you out. I'm not sure. He had told me about schedule wise, like he wasn't exactly sure how we're gonna be able to work this, but if he can get in, that'd be dope. But
that would be great. Yeah.
Super excited to see you here. Fee, who just jumped off a second ago, Fee released I don't know if you saw any earlier, but released a new single called Beast Over Beats that myself and that man up to my right, Cody Pope, is on.
Right.
My man LD right there looks like a cloud of smoke because he's got light behind him instead of in front of him, because that's how he likes to do, because he's Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
And that's LD from Freedom Corner. You might have seen him jumping around on Clubhouse a little bit too.
Cool.
That's who's in the room at the moment. So, Angel, could you tell us a little bit about? I know I was giving away a little bit of your thunder, but I wanted
Angel, nice to meet you.
Yeah, he remembers you.
Nice to meet everybody. Right on.
I want to give you a little chance to introduce yourself and say what it is that you do, and especially now in the current iteration and the previous iterations as well. I know it's all fluid, but definitely love to have you introduce yourself and tell the people what you do.
Sure. I started out as a record producer back in the 90s, believe it or not. I signed a deal with Delicious Vinyl. And so when the Far Side were having their initial success, Tone Loc and Young MC, Master Ace, I was like the
Master, the Acing, the brand new, the heavies. I
was the anomaly.
Yes.
I was, they were just like, oh my God, you produce all your own stuff? Like, wow, we have we don't have any other women on the roster that actually produce their own music. And so that was a big deal for them. So we started down that road, prepping an album. Actually, I made the album in the UK, and then I came to LA to start promoting. And just around that time, they were starting to have problems and lost their distribution with Atlantic. So my album sort of got lost in the changeover, and it didn't really work out. But the interesting thing is that we did release at least a couple of singles. One I think we did just on vinyl, and the other one, Spirit of Love. It's cracking me up that like all these years later, it's available digitally. I had no idea. So that's out there, like Juno Downloader selling it. And I'm like, okay, I haven't seen a statement in like forever.
We were just talking about that same stuff. It's like seeing the stuff sell, and how people are.
It's labels and statements and royalty payments. They're kind of like,
when they come through, it's like, oh wow, look at that. It actually came,
Well, the first time I really had that experience is when we did a direct deal after the Delicious Vinyl scenario. I wound up releasing my own records, and we started out really small, like just a little bit of vinyl here and there, and I wound up doing a bunch of remixes. What didn't work out on the artist side with Delicious wound up paying off in a completely different way that I never expected. So I wound up remixing The Far Side, the Brand New Heavies, Spearhead, Donald Byrd for Blue Note. I mean, I've done some really interesting, very eclectic projects, bringing like this other flavor to the mix. And so that kind of led me over the years to being sort of discovered in a way for a sound that was different, that really took the ear of someone called Vondi Curtis Hall. Vondi's an actor and a director. And there's a poster there behind me.
Right, I'll blow that up there. Hold
on. And that was like Tim Roth. That was Tupac's, one of his last films. He was killed before we got into post-production.
Oh, wow.
Which was crazy. So that was like my first foray into really scoring something. And it was also my education as to how political that area is. You know, there's almost everything's political in music, but in film and music, it's even worse. And
Absolutely.
so, you know, all the creatives really wanted me to score this film because they loved this remix that I did of Donald Byrd. And I brought Mystic. Mystic is an incredible Bay Area rapper, singer. She did not sing before I got my hands on her. And I encouraged her to do a little bit of singing. And since then, she's not stopped. And she's amazing. And she's also part of Digital Underground crew.
Right.
So she's a DU goddess. Mystic is an amazing lyricist and just a brilliant creative on every level. And if you haven't listened to her, you really, really should. She's brilliant. So,
I definitely know her work. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy.
So I mean that was kind of, you know, because Vondi really loved this Donald Byrd remix, and I brought Mystic in to actually write a spoken word piece. And so she did that, and I got her singing on it a little bit, and it was a really unusual thing. And Vondi loved it for the film, so he licensed that from Blue Note, the jazz label. And and at the same time, they were like, "But we love that sound, and we want more of that. So can we get her into IME to score the film?" And Polygram turned around as the studio and said, "She hasn't scored a film yet. No way." And that was literally like the end of that conversation. It was crazy. I met with the producers, I met with everybody, and they were all excited. And they even wanted me to do like a pre-record for the film, because Vondi and Tandy Newton and Tim Roth were a band, and they had to perform live to a backing track to something that was pre-recorded in the film. But I couldn't do it because Blue Note literally were flying me to New York like the couple of days in which I needed time to write this thing and record it and get it to them. So I couldn't do that. But then they came back to me and said, "Hey, we want you to score it." And so there I got my education about how it doesn't work. So they went hiring Stuart Copeland, who's the drummer from the Police. And Stuart had scored a bunch of things by then. But they came back to me about 6 weeks later, and when I thought it was completely dead, and said to me, "You know, we still really want your flavor in there. Is there some way we can involve you? Can we get you like either working with Stuart, or if you want?"
Oh no, they tried to pull that, huh?
Yeah. And I was like, "Look, with all due respect, Stuart is a brilliant musician, and I really."
But you're calling me right now. What do you know what I mean? You're calling me right now.
With Angel flavor, he doesn't do that. So, and I was like, "Look, you know, I'll do whatever you want, but the truth is, if you want what I do. I sit in a room by myself with a bunch of gear, and that's how I create."
I don't know much about scoring, but to me, that sounds like a highly personal kind of, like, you got to get to know every nook and cranny of the movie and know exactly where you want the themes to change, and you know what I mean? Like, that sounds like a lot of, like, just putting in someone else would seem like, why are you messing with my flow, bro? You know what I mean?
Well, you know, look, it can be great to collaborate, but the truth is, when it comes to score, you know, it's you and the picture, and you're working synchronized to picture. I mean, not all composers do that, but I do. And so I get something off picture that I don't get just out of my head, you know, just doing a piece of music. And obviously I've recorded many, many songs over the years under lots of different monikers, lots of different names. But I was just like, but if you want what I do, you know, the way I create that stuff that you like, I literally am just sitting in a room on my own, you know, programming it all and engineering it and mixing it and doing all of it. So you can force me to do that and you'll get something else. But if you want me to do what I do, then. So they said, great, we're going to do that. And we wound up working out a deal that way, which was.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And Stuart was a real gentleman about it. He was really cool.
How do you even know, though, if somebody has what it takes? Like, scoring for most of us is such a out the box kind of like scoring. Like, we're not talking about that as typical MCs or people, you know what I mean? It's like, if you know someone who does scoring, you kind of look at them like that, like rich uncle or something, like or aunt, and you know what I'm saying? But like, really, like, what do you really do? Like, how does someone even go about knowing that you might be someone who can score well if you've never done it before?
Well, the good news is, because it makes total sense. And honestly, I didn't study it. So, they took a chance that I could do it. I had done one other thing before, than another film where I did what they call scoring, where that was a totally different thing, where they wanted source music, which is like when you license songs, but they wanted it to fit the action in the scene and play. There was a bit of humor in those scenes. And so they wanted me to create pieces that sounded like they could be just playing on a system in this restaurant as a background thing, but still kind of hitting these little points in the.
Yeah, I got you.
So at least I had done that one thing.
Non-coincidental intent. I don't know what I know what you're saying though. That's dope.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So at least I'd done something. That was good. But I, honestly, until I just sat down and worked a picture, I felt that I could, but who knew? So, the truth is that there are a lot of people that study and do that and learn it, and they're steeped in musical theory and all this stuff. I did not come from that place. I mean, I studied piano as a kid, never thought I'd be doing this professionally. No way.
Right, absolutely.
I stopped reading music. I really hated reading music. I just felt it really kind of held me back. And right from the get-go, like even as a kid, I would just write things. I'd write little pieces and then I'd memorize them. And then I really wasn't that interested either in being a proficient and amazing musician. I was more interested in what I could create rather than play and be some virtuoso. So I basically took all those skills and put it into what I do, embracing all the technology. Like, I'm a real tech head. And I learned how to work to picture that way. But I mean, just naturally, I can look at something and I feel what it needs. And somehow out of the ether, it comes. Like, I know instinctively what to do. And I've done all kinds of things, from very, very hip and very cool, very cutting edge, like Kid Altered, which was a big UK hit as a cult indie film. It really blew up and spawned a bunch of sequels. And then on the other end of things, I've scored things that are just set in the Arizona desert with not a beat in sight. It's just very, very organic, and it's all just, beautiful and lush, and, it's a completely different vibe.
And I know you have like a real eclectic taste in music. I would imagine that helps incredibly for scoring, where you can't keep it all, hip hop or R&B or whatever. You got to grab from all the genres. So I'm assuming that's what makes the value too, right?
They need you to do what they need you to do. So it's really, I mean, even though they may bring you in for your flavor, like I bring up a sophisticated flavor to my score.
Yeah.
Even when I'm doing something very, very mainstream, like when I scored Hawthorne, which is Jada Pinkett Smith, it was her show on TNT. And
I remember.
Very, it was a family drama. It wasn't anything kind of cutting edge or hip. It required something else, just
her leading man was kind of like her leading man in real life or something at that time, right? At least those were the rumors, right?
I don't know about that. No, her leading man, and that was Michael Vartan. They were not having a thing.
I was thinking it was what's his name? The R&B. I mean, what's the guy who sings Latin music? Mark Anthony. Wasn't he in there too? Yeah,
he was in there too. Yes, he did. He wound up in the third.
Wasn't there some stuff going on around that time? I didn't know if it was crazy popping off.
No, they went back. I mean, I think they were friends from like way back in the day.
Oh, okay, all right.
And
it was looking kind of realistic. Like, I think Will's about to show up on this show.
He did show up a few times to check on what the directors were doing, but it's like, it just really depends. Like, again, like, it was a hospital drama, it was a family drama. It didn't need anything particularly cutting edge, but it did. The showrunner is like the president of each, like they're the god of each show. And it's up to them to manage all the departments and to hire everybody. And when there was a particular showrunner, Glenn Mazzara, who I'd worked with on the Fox show earlier, when he took over the show in season 2, he reached out to me and said, "I think you're perfect for this." And so we made it happen. But, they were very unhappy with the score up until that point, and for good reason. And that's, without being disrespectful to anybody. Sometimes, people just don't get the tone. They don't get the right vibe,
not reading the room.
and sometimes also they don't really pay that much attention. A lot of the A-listers, they have big teams. And when they take 5 gigs at a time, they sub out half the gigs. So, you may hire so-and-so, but you have no idea who's scoring your show, which is kind of
who's
bullshit.
really doing it. Yeah, exactly.
It's really not good. And this is why it's hard for newbies to break in. It's hard for, guys. Women represent 6% of all working composers in film and television worldwide in 2021. It's hideous for us, but it's really bad for guys too, who are just coming up and trying to do something, and have not been backroom ghostwriting for big names for years.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect storm. At least it feels like. Cody could probably speak on this too. Like, I know he does a lot with shows and stuff, but you think about how often you go to, especially in underground hip hop. You go to an underground hip hop show. It is it's the ultimate sword fight. It is. It's like, and the crowds look the same all the time. It's a bunch of drunk dudes. Like, I don't want to be there. I can only imagine if I'm a boyfriend, a girlfriend or something of one of the artists. It's like, I don't even know if I really want to go, if this isn't my music choice, let alone if you're in a room with 400 dudes and 25 women. I'm thinking, if I'm a woman, do I really want to be in this environment? And if this is what it looks like at the show, why is it going to be any different behind the scenes?
Yeah. Look, it's,
I don't know, Cody, you seeing females come out to the underground hip hop shows? Because I don't usually see it. Oh, I got you muted up. My bad. Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, definitely not in the capacity that we should be seeing it. You know what I mean? That was one of the things that I was trying to focus on when I started the showcase here in Nashua, was trying to find diverse artists to kind of bring into the fold. But it is, it's really tough to find, enough female talent in art, in music, and there's just definitely not enough representation.
Yeah.
LD, you seeing females in the music spaces, whether live or behind the scenes, or where you're at? You're in Mississippi, so
not a lot at all. What I see is artists. That's all, and most of them are doing pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. It's an uphill fight, that's for sure.
Look, I'd book into studios to do remixes or to do whatever I needed to do. And the assumption was always, oh, you're the singer, right?
Right.
Until I break out all the gear and I'm the person handling all of it.
They're you know how to use that? Oh. Right? I'm sure you get that all the time. Yeah.
It's just the way, it's just the way it is. But it's just, look, it's just the world is the way it is, and we just have to do what we do. And I always, encourage other women to just don't worry about it. Don't wait to be invited in. Just do your thing. Today, in today's world, the technology is so incredibly empowering. If you can learn how to do anything on your own, just do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Create your own stuff, because there's nothing stopping you, and you can release your own material. Back in the day when I started, you needed a label.
Absolutely.
You couldn't do it. You couldn't even afford to go into a recording studio without somebody paying for that. It was expensive. It was
real expensive. Yeah.
It was really hard to do anything. And of course, there was no internet. There was no way to promote yourself. You needed somebody to put money into marketing you if you really wanted to make it as an artist. So it's a very different world, and that's a good thing,
I'll ask you too what I was asking the other folks before you came in. Are you, I don't know if excited is the right word, but are you starting to see a shift in terms of I know it's not post-COVID, I know we're still in COVID, whatever, but are you starting to see more stuff popping up now, more opportunities, whether live or, just projects in general that are entertainment related?
I feel like, some of the industry's starting to come back a bit, like certainly on the film and TV side. I mean, people are shooting things,
right?
Which is thank God, because you can't get into post-production, which is where I come in, unless you produce something.
I've
So
watched more films on Netflix that are not from here, that are from like overseas, that I think maybe
Yeah.
wouldn't have had a shot maybe originally. And I'm watching subtitle shows all the time. I just watched Hellbound this morning. I was like, what is this? But
right on.
I think that was Korean. I think it was filmed in Korea.
Yeah, really cool. I mean, look at, I think the world is getting smaller, and that's a good thing, where we can embrace, entertainment from all cultures, from all over the world. And, and it's an interesting thing that, you and I met on Clubhouse, and I don't know that you and I would have had an opportunity to do that, to meet, in that way, and to have the kind of intimate conversations that we have as artists together.
Right.
Where it's community building, and it's real. I mean, it sounds ridiculous that it could be that real, but it is. So there's a shift, definitely. I think there's a certain shift in mentality that people want to actually be a little kinder to each other, a little bit more uplifting of their fellow artists, especially. That's a good thing.
We got to talk a little bit about Clubhouse too. And in fact, speaking of Clubhouse, I got another man who's up on Clubhouse. His name is F.L.Y. Fly is in the building. What's going on, Fly?
Man,
I'm loving that Christmas tree, bro.
Man, my wife takes this stuff very seriously, man.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Let me hold on. This is a whole new look for you. Hold on. We got it. Oh my, that is looking.
She takes this stuff very seriously. I don't know how I ended up being the man of a family that has 2 Christmas trees. Like, I don't understand it, but
you're living the dream.
No,
hey,
bro.
Speaking of which, this is a totally, there's 2 things I want to do. First of all, I got something on the screen here I didn't say to the angel, so let's do this. But anyways, good seeing you, Fly. That looking lovely there. So my ADHD or something is kicking in. My ADH. What was I saying? No, it really is. It really is. So I'm going to share the screen right here. So I'm going to share a screen of the angel. Now, she didn't give me permission to do this, but hey, she put it on Instagram, so it's public.
So
she put it on Instagram, so it's public. All right. So there we go. So we got the angel. What are you doing right there? Are you DJing in a club, or are you on the mix? What's going on?
I am DJing. This is a live performance. When I recorded it under various different names. So the angel was the first name I used. The second one was 60 Channels. So 60 Channels really was me anyway. I wrote, produced, did everything on that. But I brought
in ghostwriting so that you could get in spaces like we were talking about because it was male dominated, or was that just a cool name that you had?
No, I just wanted to do something different. All of the angel material was very down tempo, trip hop, hip hop. And I wanted to be able to include, because I have a real strong tie to the UK. I lived in London for a long time. And I was working with these guys that as a band called Jazz Clash. So they're from Bristol. They do jungle as more rockers. And together we form Jazz Clash. So I brought all the jazzy and halftime programming and hip hop, and they brought all the jungle double time programming, which was really intricate and super cool. And we created this other kind of crazy amalgamation. And around that time, I felt like I really wanted to do something else on my own that was just like different, completely different. And I did. And so that 60 Channels gave me the ability to also work in more dub and reggae and alternative and just crazy stuff. I mean, honestly, it's pretty out there. It's pretty left of center. But at that gig at the Echo back in whatever year that was, 2000 and something, early 2000s, Angie Hart is a vocalist from a band, from a rock band called Frente, an Australian band. And I had done a remix for them. And she and I started working together, and she was one of my guest vocalists on the album. I did 2 albums of 60 Channels, and Angie's just got a beautiful voice. And so what I really enjoyed doing was taking all these vocalists from completely different genres and just sticking them up a crazy electronic shit. And that's what it is. I mean, if you asked me to really describe what exactly it is, it's like some people call it dubtronic. it's just
Dubtronic, dope.
It's all over the place. I got Navigator from the UK. He is one of the top British jungle MCs to this day. He's got energy like you, Pro. He's amazing. He's a man that just is going 24/7 and
he's going, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cool. Just other crooners from other areas and different genres, and I mean but it was really cool because we actually played the first Coachella together.
Wow.
As 60 Channels.
That's big.
Yeah, wow. Navi was there, and Jody Watley actually joined us because I had remixed something for her, and so I was like,
I can totally see that.
I was just like, I mean, it was so crazy because it was just like, what is this,
Yeah,
but
that's crazy.
People either got it or they didn't, whatever. But we had a really good time with it.
I got to switch to another Instagram one. So Fly, for your background there, man. I got to do it. I got to do it right here. Hold on, let me find something right here. So this is
don't do it, man.
No, this one's a little bit more okayable. So this one is this I don't need as much permission. Well, maybe I do. This is my wife's NJ Wreath designs. Now, Fly, I might have to talk to her about helping y'all out with maybe a little wreath work in the back there. You know what I mean?
Man. Tell her come through, man. I'll put her in touch with the wife, man. I'm sure they'll dream up something, man.
So those right there, she has at a lot of shows right now. Those are called memornaments, and those are actually for people who've passed away. Mm-hmm. So the memornaments keeping memories alive. She used to make those with her mom, and of course we wouldn't have moved down here 4 years ago if it wasn't for her mom passing away. Her dad lives down here, and we had moved them up to live with us. He wanted to move back, of course, after she passed, and so we followed suit. And she started making those again in memory of her mother. That was really her way of, really kind of self-therapy, kind of, remembering her mom, and brought it back to her childhood. And now she sells those as a lot of shows and stuff like that. I might have to ship one of those down to you, send them a ornament. But that was pretty dope on the tree. And it's shameless plug for my wife's stuff. And
always in order, bro. Always in order.
Man. Always in order. You can never, not, get the Halloween wreaths. You got the what else do we got here? You know what? Hold on. I'm gonna go to this one. This is where we're gonna go. We're gonna go to there we go. That's our door. So that's our door. She puts a lot of them on the door. Oh, hold on. I just realized I have to unshare it because it's being temperamental. So let me go, and I'll just jump right back. I told you the ADH. What was I saying? I was kicking it. Here we go. Boom. There we go. So that's on our door. She uses our door as the place to do a lot of them. So it's every season. That's a custom one for some people who had a sailor thing going on. We got the foliage, that all kind of stuff. And then I think
on second hand, bro, my wife, man, she doesn't need to see any of this, bro. I should come home and it'd be 100 of these at my house.
That'd be 100 less for us, and my entire house is a roof right now. So this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get y'all in trouble. So y'all this should be the official sponsor of the PROQUO Show tonight. It should be the NJ Wreath design. Absolutely. I was looking for too. Maybe I did it wrong. I should have done it the right way. Let me see up here. Let me get out of this, and then I promise I'll get right back to it. Let's go to her Etsy store. Now, she really doesn't do the Etsy store stuff as much as she should, but see, that's what they look like when they're all pretty. She's got the little candy cane things going. You gotta have those little candy cane things going. NJ Wreath Designs. Make it an NJ Wreath Design Christmas.
Hey, bro, you gotta put the tag up, man. The Etsy's link.
Got to.
Yeah, I think he might have tapped himself out the show.
Did we lose Pro?
Yeah, I think we lost. I think we lost Pro. So, Angel, what are you currently working on?
I don't know if I kicked myself out, but maybe it was I was speaking too much about the wife. I don't know what it was, but I'm back. What's up?
Welcome back.
I just met Cody Pope tonight, by the way, y'all. Cody Pope and I don't go back like that. This is Cody Pope. He is on Over Beats with Fee. He's a producer, engineer, rapper, promoter. Someone who sounds near and dear to my heart with all those things.
Likewise,
Cody,
brother.
Fly, Cody. In case
Cody, what's good, bro? I gotta make that trip to Nashville, man. Just let me know.
Say when. Hit my line anytime, yo. I'd love to have you guys. This has been so cool, man. I'm really like stoked that I got to tap into this. Like, it's been awesome meeting you guys and hearing some of your stories and stuff like that. I definitely look forward to connecting with you guys all again. This was dope.
Oh, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said that.
Freedom
This is
Corner
same bad
coming your
time, same
way.
bad chance. My son tells me, this is kind of what Quo's dealing with too. My son tells me, he's like, Daddy, I think you need to not do the Pro Quo show next week because you've now done it for a year, and I would really like it. Every week he's like that. And the thing is, he goes to bed at like right about when we're starting, and it's like, bro, what does it matter? You're going to bed. You know what I mean? So he's just feeling his new haircut. He got the new haircut. So I put it on Instagram today. He's feeling the new dude.
It was nice.
Yes. Yes. He's, he walks by the mirror and goes, Daddy, I really like this. I have to fight with this kid to cut his hair. I'm like, he's like, no. I was like, you can do the Rubik's Cube. I'll bring you in the chair. Okay. He does the Rubik's Cube. He's a big Rubik's Cube guy. He's eight. He's 8. You know what I mean? He does it in 2 minutes and 45 seconds, by the way. He solves the whole thing.
Damn.
Yeah, he's
That's
8.
insane,
so he's a genius, is what you're saying.
Yeah, Jimmy Neutron, man.
Yo, straight up.
He's a math and science guy for sure. And he's he sings. My wife has like, if my wife doesn't have, my wife says she has near perfect pitch or whatever it is, right? She's a singing snob. But she's amazing. She's world class. She really is. And she comes in like, I think, I'm not sure, Angel, if you heard the song I sent Tommy, the Greener song that my wife sings on, but she literally sat right here and she's like, okay, what do you need me to do? And I was like, can you just like sing? This is the song. This is what it's about. I hit record and I was like, all right, can I get a backup track? Boom. She's like, yep. I was like, can I get one more? She's like, boom. I was like, yeah, just riff on the end. And she's like, am I done now? 15 minutes. I was like, all right, thanks. And that's how she is. She just walks in, walks out, like never heard the song kind of thing. And so I definitely can't just be casually singing around the house. She'll be like, oh, could you fix that? Oh, could you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but my son
bro.
walks in the room and she's like, oh my gosh. And I really stand back and I'm like, dude, like just gets it. You know what I mean? He just like any melody, it's like there, locked in, right on. He does, he'll imitate the accents. Yeah, man. So we know we got a bunch of kids in this world that are able to do anything if we give them the space and time, right? And it's just great to see.
I wonder where all these kids got the resources.
I wonder where he gets it from.
Yeah, he does.
Right?
He's
how did he inherit that?
Yeah, wonder how he did wonder where he got a Rubik's Cube from, right? I got his Marvel chess set over there. I asked my mom. My mom was like, yo, she's in Vegas. So she's like, oh, what can we get him last year? I was like, you know what he'd really like? There's a little bit of me in there too. I was like, he would really love the Marvel chess set, and we play a lot of chess. And so Marvel chess set's right over there. I don't know if y'all know. This should, again, another sponsor. I don't know if y'all know how dope the Marvel chess set actually is.
That sounds dope, bro.
Have you ever seen it? Y'all just talk among yourselves.
I never even thought about a Marvel chess set.
All right.
You just said something.
I got to tap out in the meantime. Much love, everybody. Let's keep in touch.
Cody,
Hit me up.
We'll see you soon, Cody.
Yo.
All right, Cody.
Check us
Much
out. We
love,
might play that song one more time before we jump, Cody. Great having
Hell
you
yeah,
here,
I'm going to bang it in the whip on the way home.
Absolutely. And I'm going to get the chess set, so y'all just keep carrying on.
I'm always telling Carlos to get his wife on more tracks. I encourage it all the time. Not just because she's a woman, but because she's good. And it adds an extra flavor.
Absolutely.
We be in Nashville in January, B.
If not before. I want to take the time to say, nice to meet you, Angel. I've seen you in the clubhouse rooms or heard you, more matter of factly. And I don't know a whole lot about it, but I definitely do know from looking at everything and the way I do business that, that I know that you're definitely, who you say you are. You have to worry about that.
She's definitely who she says she is.
Yeah, I know that. So I appreciate, I appreciate you and everything that you do. And I look forward to working with you in the future. I need some people to take some chances on me. I feel the same way you did before they took chances on you. So I just wanted to say that.
No, I hear it. I hear you. Nice.
LD is the truth.
Nice to meet you.
LD is the truth. LD is the Thanos of.
Do me a favor, LD, and hit me up on Clubhouse. Just DM me, so I make sure that we're connected on there.
I will. I've probably already done it.
He's in the room like 30 times out of like 35 when you're in there, but he's spoken probably once. So he's
Are you in Tommy's rooms? No.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where I saw you at.
Okay.
He's mad incognito. Fly started the nickname Charlie for him from Charlie's Angels. He's like, you ain't gonna hear him. You might hear him, but you're definitely not gonna see him. You know what I mean? When he was in New York, I was like, yo, he's a real human, yo. He's really here. I couldn't believe it. I was like, yo, he's here.
Bro, I'm saving that picture, bro. Like I got that picture locked in. I don't know when I'm loaded. I'm like, yeah, me and Pro, we actually exist together.
We actually exist together in the same space. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about before the ADHD was kicking in. It's like the Clubhouse thing. I'm on here sometimes promoting the Clubhouse thing. And by the way, thank you for everybody checking in. We stream to 8 different platforms. One of them is Hip Hop Citizen. Hip Hop Citizen's where there's probably going to be like 500 views by now on Hip Hop Citizen's page alone. My page might be like 100 or something like that. When all is said and done, there's a couple thousand people who watch across within the next 3-4 days. Probably hit about 2,000 to 3,000 views. And it's small. We're very humble. We keep a very small scale. We're not like going crazy with it or whatever, but people who check in, we are thankful people checking in. So I wanted to say what's up. A lot of times what happens is when we broadcast here, and that's how I'm going to transfer it over to the Clubhouse talk, we have a lot of copyright stuff we have to deal with. YouTube, because we broadcast to YouTube, they shut us down our stream feeds between YouTube and Facebook. You know about how that works. Facebook will say they'll flag the material, and it's usually my material. You know, we're playing like one of our own songs, and it shuts it down. So we have to deal with that. But it's like you don't have to worry about that in the Clubhouse lane. It's like you just Clubhouse, your room's not getting shut down unless there's some trolls in your room, right? And we lose a few thousand. I think 1,000 usually. I feel like a week because I'll see, we'll have be watching like how the line goes up during the live time stream, and you'll see how many people there are watching, and then it goes boom off a cliff, and I'm like, man, that would have hit 4,000 or 5,000, but instead it hits like 2,500 because no matter what we do, we like playing the music and we don't really care. We're gonna play it, but it's like then we'll lose some of the streams, so it's like you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Real frustrating. But what's your take on Clubhouse? And I'm promoting it on here a lot. I don't know if I should be being on FB and promoting CH. I'm using the code words, but
I hear you. I mean, look, they all have a different. It's a funny thing. I mean, it's all online, right? And you think, that it's all the same, but it isn't. Each platform has a very different feel about it. Every room on Clubhouse has a different feel about it, which is kind of insane when you consider that we can't see each other. All we're looking at is a static photo of each other, and but there's such a different energy in every single room. It's so interesting that you get a sense of people. That's a kind of an interesting thing that LD. I really appreciate what you were saying earlier, because there are a lot of people who just give it all that, and you have no idea how real they are. But people tend to give themselves away when you speak. There's something very kind of personal and very organic about hearing someone's voice. And I could really hear through a lot of BS on there, and there are people who definitely are not who they say they are, or whatever it is, they're just kind of, but I think there's a lot of value if you can find the right rooms and you can follow the right people, and you're confident that who you're following are solid, grounded people. I think you can get a lot of value out of it. It's just, you have to have time to do it. And just, I would just say, just pick and choose carefully, but I have met some great people on there, it's amazing. And people I feel really close to, and you're one of them, I'm really glad. And Quo too. I miss him because he's not really kind of on there anymore, but
I mean, and that's the negative side of it too. It's like, it can be a lot, it can be a real lot.
It can. Like all social media, I really feel it can be a lot, and it can be a bit of a mind fuck.
We're taking our son tomorrow to see Rob Gone Wrong, and that's about that. I don't know if anybody's seen that or has kids or whatever, but it's kind of about the whole social media trappings. And it can. I mean, it's for adults too. I mean, we can all. I don't know about you guys. It's like I'm really interested. Fly, I know you're not on as much, and LD I know that you're real quiet. It's funny because the four of us, and I'm speaking a little bit maybe out of pocket here, Angel, because I don't know this to be true, but I feel like it from the conversation we have.
Yeah.
I want to say I think we're 4 introverts on here, and I think you
Yeah,
you fit that
absolutely.
mold for some. And these two are just like me. And on here, this is about the most extroverted you'll hear me. Because
Right.
I feel like I'm on my page. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on my own Facebook page, and when I go into Clubhouse, I feel like how I am more in real life, which is weird. It's like I'm usually the last person to speak up unless someone speaks to me. But on here, I come out of my shell a little bit. I guess it's because I'm in my house and I feel like I'm just talking to you guys, and I know it's over my Facebook page and my YouTube page or whatever, right? But really, it's broadcast in several other places. But I don't feel it like that. So I don't know. I feel a little bit more like I'm able to be who I would be around people that I'm comfortable with, and that's it. We say Quo and I both started the show that way. We don't have people come up on the show that aren't connected to us somehow. It's not like we're like, oh, who can we book? No, we're just having people we know. You know, I know a lot of people in the industry or whatever, and had some of them on. We're gonna have more or whatever. But I try to, like, I don't know. I have a difficult time speaking up in crowded rooms, and Clubhouse is no different for me. Like I have to really, it takes me a lot of time before I even speak on there. You know what I mean? Like I have to think, okay, like what can I add to here? And I'd rather listen a lot of the times, but then a lot of it is engaging, and I can sit around and listen for a long time. And yeah, I love being in the rooms that you're in. That's why I love being in Tommy's room. I just listen to him, and I soak up so much from you guys when you're in there talking. It's just amazing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it really, look, there's a lot of rooms that I go into, and I'm just quiet. I'll just listen. Sometimes people will bring me up and just want me on the stage just to hang out, and that's fine. I don't feel like I have to constantly be, saying something. I think we all learn a lot more when we listen rather than speak. To be honest. But if I can add something of value and it's helpful to other people, I'm all for it. And I try to really pay attention, which is how I found out about that opportunity for you, Pro, because I was to be in that room listening, and when Patricia said, I'm looking for an opening title piece, and I want it to be hip hop.
Yeah, it's so dope.
I was like, hang on a second, ding ding, and so
thankful for that. Yes.
And I'm really, really, it's my pleasure. Believe me, I'm really glad that worked out. But there are opportunities, there are good things that can happen. It can't always be that way every day, every room, but I do think that there is value to be had. And especially when you're in a grounded community, like I'm part of that whole New Hollywood community.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah.
And they are, everyone in there, they're proper producers, directors, writers, television writers, film, screen.
I want just those kind of rooms to come to my thing, but it's 90% garbage. It's just like.
And honestly, a lot of the music rooms are kind of whatever, that it's real hit or miss.
It's shaky.
Same.
Yeah, you got to really know where you're going. I mean, we do Talent House every Wednesday night. That was not my room to begin with. I was invited in to be a mod there. And, the only reason I agreed to do it is because I said, look, I'm not going to do anything I'm not critiquing people. I'm not judging them. If I'm going to be there as a mod, I want to uplift and help. I want to support. I want to encourage.
Right.
That's it. And that's all I do. That's all I'm interested in doing.
That room's amazing too. LD, I don't think you've been in that one. They do a Talent House room. Have you been in that?
It's a Wednesday room.
I know. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's you're on more like the day or whatever, but like that's a night one, and the talent in there is ridiculous. You can sit in there for a string of an hour, and it's insane.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we get people from all over the world. We've got people like calling in from India, singing. They've never sung in front of an audience in their lives, and they're just and they're amazing.
Amazing.
I mean, either writing their own material, or they're singing a cover of something and they're singing a cappella, or they're playing an instrument and singing. People come in and do comedy, and they work out their routines to see how it's landing. Sometimes people come in and do spoken word. I mean, anything is really okay in that room, and it's just a really joyful, lovely space.
I know, and if we can just all figure out a way to make it work together, like I base everything off of originality, and a lot of what's original was based on bartering, not necessarily what something is worth now, what you consider it to be worth now, what you may consider it to be worth later. But if we can just all just get together on one accord, the vision and the outlook that I have for this label is clear and concise. I just need people to come in and help me. Pro has been a blessing. Jay Cruz, I wouldn't have met Pro without Jay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Fly, I wouldn't have met Fly without.
Same for all of us here. There's you know what I mean? That's the glue.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just about teamwork, and we have so much potential just right here with 4 introverts. I mean, I'm telling you, that's I digress.
No, not at all. I mean, you make perfect sense, and it's absolutely the case. And it's there's just a lot. There's a lot to be had. If you can feel comfortable working with people, if you know that they're to be trusted and that they're cool. But there's a lot of there's a lot of good stuff going on there. You just have to be, again, very discerning.
It's one of those things when you hear about it, doesn't, to me, when I heard about it, it was nothing that I wanted to go on, and
same.
I was like, one more, like, all I need is one more social. I don't even like the apps that I have, you know what I mean? And so it's like I'm like, okay, I used to not accept any requests to my Twitter, to my Instagram. For Twitter, I've only had like this show. I only had people I knew. I was like, nah, I don't want people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I was like, all right, I get. And people were like, come on, man. There's no way to really contact you if we don't know. I was like, okay, all right, I'll open my Twitter for a little bit. Then I stopped. Then I did the same thing with Instagram. I said, okay, Facebook and SoundCloud. I got real lucky on had a lot of success on that with as an artist thing. But I felt like that was totally anonymous. It was like you're only interacting with people you don't know on there. And in a way, I liked it because it was like no commitment kind of thing. I was just like, hey, thanks for checking out the music. Great, blah, blah, blah. And then when I heard Clubhouse, I think when I have a tough time, I try to sell it to people because I really do think the more people we get on that like what we're talking about, the better it is for everybody. It's hard to explain because when someone says to me, yeah, you're going to go into like a podcast kind of thing, and you get to listen to them, but you're on the stage. I was like, yeah, I'm all set with that. That's not a good way to say it. I don't want to be on your stage in the middle of your podcast. And they're like, no. Everybody gets to just kind of talk. And I was like, and they're looking at your picture the whole time. Like, that's hard to communicate, But then when you get on there, it's dope,
Yeah, I had the same feeling. I was really kind of coerced into getting on there. And I was just like, no way. I can't even think about one more thing. And honestly, I think it's been one of the nicest things that I've discovered in the last year, and it's brought a lot of really great people into my life that I would never know.
That's why I wanted to, put the piece I did there just because a year ago, not quite a year ago, but New Year's, we had Quo's dad on. And I ate dinner over his house, and he was like, Pro. It was him, his lady, Jay's brother. It was like 6 of us at the table. And this was in April when we were filming our video. And he goes, Pro. He goes, I've never met a person who needs to be on that app more than you do. He made the pitch, and my wife was already on, and I was like, what? I was like, It's like, plus it didn't come to the Androids that fast. But when it did, I was like, I don't know. And he's like, I'm telling you. He's like, just go on, just try it out. Trust me. This is for you. You should be on it. He's like, between the spoken word, the rapping, and the teachings you do, and your story, you're gonna find your tribe in there of people that are similar to you. And sure enough, talking to a few of them, especially you.
Yeah, but you've been very well embraced, and for good reason. You're such an interesting person. You've got a lot of different things going on. You're coming from a lot of the educational sector. You're coming from hip hop. You're coming from, just things that normally don't necessarily go together in people's minds, but you bring it all together, and I think it's you have an advantage in that. Plus, you're just really cool. You're just really nice to be in a room.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Likewise, of course.
And Quo is a total sweetheart, and I feel really sad that he's not here.
he is the most extroverted out of all of us. Like I tell him all the time, it's like, bro, I can't keep with your jovialness because I'm you meet the two of us, you're going to meet him. I'm going to be the dude. They're going to be like, what does he do? And be like, oh yeah, he writes rhymes, and I've always needed that. Like Fee with my first group, he was on here. Fee was my first group, ex-Cal. Fee was very social. Fee's very outgoing, whatever. And Fee, like, I'd introduce Fee to my friends and they'd all become Fee's friends. You know what I'm saying? And it would be like he would just absorb everybody. And he was like an amoeba for you reach out to Fee. You didn't really reach out to me. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm just the dude writing rhymes in the back of the room kind of guy. And that's what Quo is. Quo's like that too. And it's exhausting. Because I'll say, like, my motor, I think the reason it can go as much as it does is because I don't overextend myself on the social side, I think. And I'm trying to be way more like, you know what I mean? But
you're doing it.
But
yeah,
I'd rather just talk to Fly. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, yeah.
I feel you, bro. Y'all know, man, I absolutely hate social media, all of it. Like, I know hate is a strong word.
You're
man.
strong with it though. Yeah. You're stronger than I am.
I get it.
Yeah, man. A lot of that has to do with, man, my everyday life is probably just busier than the average person too, man, with 5 children and all that kind of stuff. So really all of my social time goes into football practice, basketball practice, football games, basketball games, what's for dinner tonight.
At home. He got 6 kids.
Yeah, so that's my social life. When I do have time away from work, there's always somewhere to be with my kids. And so that's my social life. And I don't have any time really or energy. And then trying to do music and be available to a world of people is nearly impossible. On top of the fact that I'm just, introverted too, and I really don't want to do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's just
and
like
this is the Fly. He's on 2 of the tracks on our album too. He's holding it down on both of the tracks too. He's on Freedom Corner. He's the last MC on the track called Freedom Corner, which is the first song, by the way, that Tommy ever played. I was sitting by the pool and Quo hit me. He's like, yo, you got to go in the room. Tommy's talking about our joint. So I jumped in the room and the whole room was going crazy over the song Freedom Corner. And I think Tommy's probably only played it like once. He's got his own favorites or whatever.
Yes.
He played this and the room went ridiculous. And they were like, yo, who is that? I'm like, yo, wait to the end. And it was like, you got to hear Fly. And they were like, yo, who's this dude? So that's him. And he's also on He Prays. He's also on the end of He Prays. He's a dope, inspirational artist, just amazing person and MC. So Fly, Angel. Fly.
Yes.
Forever lives Yahweh and an angel next to each other. That's very,
come on, man. It's meant to be, man. It's meant to be, man. Yin and yin.
Yin and yang.
Yeah, I've heard Angel. Of course, I had the same testament. I've heard your voice plenty of times. I think when Pro and I was together in New York, and y'all were talking about, the introduction piece for the film and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Same here. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to know more of your family, Pro.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when it comes
I'm happy for you. This is your anniversary of the show.
Yes. Yeah. We didn't even really realize it. It was just kind of like one of those things where we did like 4 shows leading up to this that were just on my own Facebook, and then I did an interview on the show Hip Hop Citizen. Let me plug Hip Hop Citizen in a minute too. Hip Hop Citizen is a website, and they had me as a guest up on their show. And Quo was listening to the show, and before you know it, they were talking to me like, "Hey, you and Quo, you guys might, we could maybe put y'all on our thing," because they saw our little thing that we did like 4 weeks before. One of those weeks was the week I was on their thing, and we were like, I don't know. We were doing like our weekly debriefing of like music. We were playing music for our own little fans and stuff like that, and just like playing and be like, yo, check out what we're doing in the production. We're not like, oh, wait till it's perfect. We're like, no, this is what it sounds like right now. You know what I'm saying? And we were like, whatever's going on behind my wall, be like, or outside the door, I'm like, hey, bring it in. It was just decompressing. And it was at the same time, Quo was like, you got to meet LD, and he's like, I really want to go through Freedom Corner, their label, and it's funny because I had all kinds of like label things on the side already, people that I already know that were like, when you do an album,
yeah,
Jimmy Kang from Move Management wanted to do the album with us through the Orchard as well, and then Quo was like, yo, LD's with the Orchard, and you got to meet Sin and Lo, they're super cool, and I was like, who are all these people you talking about? Wait till you meet Fly, and I was like, I don't know. There's more people. And it was like, and they started coming on the show, and I was like, yo, this is pretty cool. These dudes are really thorough. Okay. Yeah, hey, why don't we do that? You know what I mean? So Quo right again. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. So
let's go.
That's it. That was it. I was like, yeah, I think we're gonna do this Freedom Corner brand thing. And shout out to Sin and Lo. You might see them on the app. I don't know if you've seen Sin Crawford and Low Vision. They were in a lot of the music rooms.
Yes. Yeah, Lo was in the room with us today.
Yeah, LD, you can speak on who they are. If you can.
Yeah. Lo and Sin. Sin represents family and friends, and Lo is Out of Nowhere Entertainment.
Okay.
And they are partnered together in, I believe their partnership is with Family and Friends, and of course distributed by the Orchard. So those are our people.
Nice. Yeah, Low Vision and I have been in Tommy's room together a bunch of times, but I haven't seen him for a little while. I think today was the first time in a bit. But
wealth of knowledge.
Great speaking voice too.
Yeah, Lo's voice is crazy.
Right? Yeah. Very cool.
So that's the extended fam right there. And and so anyways, the first 4 or so we were just doing like this before it was Hip Hop Citizen. Let me just show y'all. Shout out to Hip Hop Citizen. I know Don Juan was trying to come through too, was not able to get him up on here too, but he's in Texas, and so it's a crazy different different time zones, and I know you are too, but it's a lot going on because he comes right from at this holiday weekend, but a little different. But he's usually coming right to his kids and stuff like that too. So it's crazy. I'm trying to see if I can pop this over. I think I can. Let's do this. So this is Hip Hop Citizen. You can see over here the PROQUO Show. These are some of the different shows that are on the stream. So it's basically a live stream platform of multiple shows. And then over here, their own show that we were on originally was Friday Night Live. And so then they gave us our slot, and we've partnered with Don Juan. So if y'all are checking out more shows, check out hiphopcitizen.com. Check them out on Facebook. They got like 80,000 followers, which is why so many of our plays go through that stream when we send it over to there, because there's just a lot of people on the page. So shout out to everybody at Hip Hop Citizen. Thanks for holding us down for so long. We appreciate y'all. And there's also a lot of good stuff on here in terms of news and posts and top 10s, and they keep stuff popping on here quite a bit. Hey, I know those guys, PROQUO. So it's cool stuff. Check it out. Everything.
Uh-oh.
Don Juan, the Mac. Hey, it's crazy because when I interviewed a month ago with a young lady from Memphis, Tennessee, she knew Don Juan.
Oh.
Say what? Who knew Memphis, Tennessee?
Remember we were talking about the new gig that the transition and all that, and the lady that Tracy Moore that I interviewed with for the director spot, she knew Don Juan, and I didn't really get into how, but yeah, they had a little probably not deep friends or anything like that, but I never got to get in contact with him to find out the connection that they had, and so I feel
Don Juan. I mean, Don Juan hit me out of nowhere like 2 years ago, and he was like, "Yo, Lyrical, I got to do an interview with you." And I was like, "Who is this guy?" And I was like, "What does he want to do an interview about?" Like whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it was a real cryptic message, and he's like, "Yo, Pro." Then he hit me with this, "Pro, I know your wife." Right? And
I really want to know who this dude
I was like, all right, let me follow this up. I was like, who is this Don Juan?
With that name too, right?
Don Juan, right? The name. And I was like, my wife, I'm like, yo, who?
Yeah.
You know somebody named Don Juan? She's like, who? I was like, Don Juan. I was like, I think his name actually is Don or Juan. I got to find out. And it was like, oh, it's Juan. Okay, I got it. And I was like, his name is Juan. All right. I was like, do you know a Juan? And my wife is from Stafford, Virginia, which is Northern Virginia, but it's not all the way north. You know, they're like 20 miles south of here or whatever. And so my wife is a black woman. Don Juan is a black male. There's like 8 black people who went to Stafford High School, and it's a pretty big high school. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, he's a black dude in Stafford. How do you not know him? She's like, I don't know who this is, man. She's like, I was like, let me find out more about him, you know. And so he's giving me the whole breakdown, the lineage, whatever. And he's like, yeah, well, I want to have you on the show, man. I know all about you. I know you through your wife. And I was like, my wife don't even know who you are. And then she knows the DJ that was on the show with them, because he was like the DJ rapper guy back in the day. But Don was like a couple years grades removed from her, so he was like, oh, trust me, I didn't really talk with your wife. I wasn't in those circles. And I was like, whatever that means. My wife is like the class president or something like that. And I was like, she was like doing the pageants and all that stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, I think I get it. They were the rappy rap guys at the school or whatever. And they were like, yeah, we run this hip hop site, blah, blah, blah. So months later, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go on the show. Because it was at the same time that I had a little single out, and I was working on stuff with Quo and did my first song with him. And I was like, yeah, maybe we'll do an album, blah, blah, blah. One thing led to another, and here we are. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's been cool. I appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, this is lovely. I mean, I'm really happy to see you.
Anytime. Once you have access, you always have access. So I send that little invite to people, especially when they hit me up. They're like, hey, I got something going on or whatever. Just even if you don't, just drop by. Fridays, this is where we are. Usually 9 to 11. I'm always saying I'm going to end it at 10, and I never do. Typically 9 to 10:30. Tonight I knew we'd go a little longer because we had to start it with something else. But I'm going to close us down with the Fee track again. So if you want to check that out. But unless you guys got anything to shout out, any project coming up, Angel, you want to talk about? Anything else deep before we go?
There's a little something. I mean, I'm not going to release this single until next year, like probably early in the year. But I have a track with Slim Kid Trey from the Far Side.
What?
And I've worked together a bunch of times. And there's a 60 Channels track that I did a long time ago. I have this crazy version of it, the Angel remix of it, even though I created the track in the first place. But it's really, it's really cool. And I've been sleeping on it, and I was like, we're putting this out.
Dope.
That's coming out, early next year.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good blend right there.
Just to kind of completely blow people's minds. At the same time, I'm going to be releasing a score album that is just totally organic. It's just completely like mellow, guitar oriented, just completely on a different flavor. And I'm trying to finish an Angel album, which is some other craziness. So,
do you play? Is that a cello behind you? Do you play that?
It's an upright bass.
It's upright bass. Okay, yep.
I had planned to do that. But I have these small hands, and you really need bigger hands to play. I got like a medium size, and it's still kind of too big for me. But my bass player, who was a very good friend of mine, he was an electric player. And I said, I'm going to get this bass, and you're going to play it. And he would come over and he would do that. I lost him, unfortunately.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And so I kind of I like having the bass in the room with me, because I always feel his presence.
I think I heard you speaking about this. If it's the same person. Yeah, I did remember you talking about a bass player. Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
My wife played viola, but she loved that viola, but I can't get her to bust that thing out now. Even if we just had it on display like that, it'd be cool. I mean, that's much more of a centerpiece than a viola, but very cool.
Sometimes it's just nice to be around the instrument, like sometimes I mess around with it. I don't really play it, but but I can do things with it and still record it, and so that's cool.
Absolutely. LD Fly, y'all got anybody to shout out or anything to say before we jump out and hear Beast Over Beats one more time?
Oh, not me. Aside from Fee, you know what I'm saying? Bill Fee the Evolutionist, and the affiliates.
Yes. Fee didn't say it. We got a track with Ski coming out down the line too. It's not a secret, but we're not playing it yet. So shout out to Ski Beats, and can't wait for that to come out. It's a big tribute to the Rockefeller, Rockablock kind of stuff that we were part of. So it's real cool.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, Ski Beats for sure.
Ski.
All of you guys, man. Again, Angel, of course, as always, Pro, Fly. I got some more footage from last weekend. I got the B-roll from the drones.
You gotta let us know about that. We gotta get some of that running.
Yeah, we on something. I got it.
Excellent. Fly, how about you, man?
Man, oh man, head down, man. Just focus on this transition, man. Brand new start Monday, so that's really where I'm at.
I didn't mean to do that.
That's where I'm at with it, bro. You know,
cool.
Shout out to Fee though, man. Shout out to Fee. Yeah, that's the homie, man.
We're gonna run them one more time. So if y'all didn't catch it the first time around, make sure you check out Fee. This is his new track. It's featuring Quo. It's featuring myself. It's featuring Cody, who was up here, Cody Pope. Detention, who's a Massachusetts mainstay, also from Lowell, Mass, like myself. And DJ Myth is up on there, and A Lunar Landing, which is a crazy name, A Lunar Landing. Yeah, it's a dope track, and I wish I could have made. They were trying to have me come up to do the show last night, but 2 nights ago, but that was going to be a little too tough to make right over the holidays, as y'all know. So, anyways, shout out to Fee and the affiliates. All right, here we go.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much, Angel. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Beast over beast, feed and the affiliates. I got lions in the jungle, gorillas in the mist, ripping this carnivorous, flows amphibious. My click spit it wicked insidious, it's hideous, dirty flows, we ain't the prettiest. Sick of all this mumble rap and gibberish, oblivious, thinking that fans are idiots. I went and got the best in the city, it's the grittiest. Beast over beats, Fee and the affiliates.
I king bring flow that's ferocious, busting out of bars, quote coming for them poachers. Call my contacts, leave bones for the vultures. King of my habitat, the future of posters. 6-figure check with a pride I approach this. Focus, hungry for a neck, better run before you sweat. Got the main in effect, hit pro like Fee, we need the respect.
The dominant competitor, any cipher I ever been. Silverback gorilla for real, I'm a battle veteran. I never been afraid of a challenge, spit in the 8 with any mighty Joe Youngs. I go planet of the apes, hold up, bathing them quick in the flow for all them naysayers. Walk away beating my chest like NBA players. Commentators are common haters who talk iller. Who you gonna call when you know that the Godzilla?
Beast over beast, Fee and the affiliates.
Silverback, back gorilla for real, I'm a battle veteran. Go planet of the
apes. Locked down in my housebound house cat, eating catnip, taking house cat naps. But I don't sleep, I'm still tapping beats, whether on guitar or on my MPC. And that shit ain't free, it'll cost you 9 lives. Now I got 18, I wiped the slate clean. When I leap tall buildings, I defy all laws. Records with my claws while you on all fours.
Coming straight from out the cave, dropping guano when I fly by. Y'all flap gums, I flap wings in the night sky. Soaring high above the nonsense, my content compliments the flows, and I'm an overall nice guy. From Transylvania to Gotham City, I'm rocking with the best in the vicinity. Epitome of what it means to be efficient, never gimmicky, just global bard. Sending sonar for all MCs with the dope bars.
Fee hit my line, need me to rip lines. Spit shine to click time, rip rhymes, I get mine. Fit fine, I grip mines wherever spit flies. It's time to shift lines between the split skies. Most know, Pope chose, all just the holy flow. Cody Pope, never slow, higher below the low. Don't pass my dope, just watch movies and smoke. Pass guard, laugh hard, make the opponent choke.
Beast over beast, Fee and the affiliates.
Silverback, back gorilla for real, I'm a battle veteran. Go planet of the
King of my habitat, hungry for a neck, hungry for a neck.
There it is.
Nice.
Bro, collectively, bro, it's like the dopest thing I've seen all year.
It's cool, right?
This is dope, bro. I love it.
Right?
It's kind of fun. He's and like I was saying, you're onto something with that. I was like, you should do those same characters in every video.
It is, man. It is with the animated video. The concept is it's super unique and still dope. I love it.
You know what's funny is a lot of people had actually already started shouting that out. Shout out to Leeds, who threw that on his page. Leeds is a big promoter in Boston who was giving it the cosign, which was great to see. That's always helpful. And yeah, a lot of people have picked up on that. Fee hasn't really released the video all that publicly, except just on some of the pages and stuff. And this was one of the first things we were, kind of waiting on to get out there. And he did the live show, so Fee's more of a show and prove kind of guy. Like, here it is, bam, you know what I mean? And now people know. So I'm excited about it for him, and he's got a lot of cool stuff coming out. And what's funny is, yeah, he produced that track too on the low. So a lot of people don't know that Fee be producing stuff like that. So very cool, very very cool. I'm trying to get I don't know. I gotta, I shouldn't even be putting it out there, but Fee's got some projects that I'm like, you might need to do it through the whole Freedom Corner thing. We get this other one with Pro on there. You know what I mean? We might do the whole Sony thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Or go through the machine, as I call it. Right? Angel, before we get out of here, I gotta hear this from you too. I know I'm keeping you guys up past our bedtimes, but one of the things that we were talking about before you came in was the whole idea of the whole streaming game or whatever. And I'm really interested on your take on that. Like, I haven't heard you speak to that point. A lot of us are in different rooms, and sometimes I'm in rooms, quite honestly, you're probably not in on those, and you're probably in ones I'm not in that speak on this. I don't think we've crossed too much past on this. What is your take of the whole, I don't want to call it rat race, but like what we're all chasing as artists, like streams and stuff? What's your spin on that?
It's tough. I mean, to be honest, streaming came in when I stopped paying a lot of attention to records, my record side of my business. And then 10 years later, I released a single last year and was like, I didn't even know the Orchard had gotten all of my stuff onto all the streaming platforms. And so what I did notice, because we have a direct deal with Apple, with iTunes, our little label, we got invited to do that right at the very beginning when iTunes started. And I realized that sales have been completely cannibalized by streaming. There's just literally sales are like nothing and streams are like pretty good, but it's, there's no money in it. And
yeah, there doesn't seem to be any cash in this deal, right?
No, it's really rough on independent
for the end user artist, anyways.
Yeah, it's really rough. And the way I look at it is more like just promo. I mean, to invest in streaming as an income stream, I think it's just not realistic. But to use it as a promotional tool to get people, to get yourself enough exposure so that people know who you are, and then they can see a lot of your catalog in one place. I mean, for me, it's a big problem because also when I found out that I was all over all these platforms, and Spotify in particular, there's another person using my name. That's a real pain in the ass because, trying to get, so when we separated the catalogs, they gave all the followers to this other angel, the angel. And they're like a house music person, like nothing. I could not be more different. That's not my world at all. And so all of these people, and the crazy thing is that they told us that the algorithm is such that they can't manually move the fans of mine to my actual profile.
Yeah.
Because it's all done automatically. So all the people that followed me because of Kidulthood, which is the movie I was telling you about, that UK feature,
right?
That's all UK hip hop and grime, and it's really all the source music in that film is super cool. And what I did for it as a composer, they wanted me to do really like left to center, really cutting edge stuff. That all kind of goes together. So all of those acts that have fans are following this house person. I don't know what the hell they do. I don't know if it's a vocalist but it's just kind of frustrating. So I started again with 0 followers only in the last year. So I've got a pitiful amount of followers even at this point. And I think half of it is because people don't know the angel to follow.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's
wow.
Yeah. So that can be, and it happened to Mystic as well. In her case, there's a Jamaican artist who is very, very successful and use the same name. And so that's another.
I know Mike Mystic from Boston, who's a reggae Jamaican artist,
right,
who's very popular. I don't know if that's the same person, but
I don't know. I think there's someone just called Mystic as well. And I'm like, you know, I mean, that's the problem with having a name that's a little bit generic, you know, it's just a word or it's, you know, a phrase or something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I went by only lyrical for many years. And my first solo album was 2005, 2006. And, you know, it was a crazy story. It was like the label, it was Caroline EMI through a label called Blaze the World. And Blaze the World's big artist at the time was Cool G Rap. And so he was like, yo, I want to do your record. I was like, cool, let's, you know, and this was at a time when it was almost impossible to be on iTunes unless you were going through a bigger label, right? It wasn't like it is now. And they were like, yeah, we're going to get it on iTunes, do all that stuff. And for me, I was like, that's the market that I don't have. You know, I was doing physical products and stuff. And really, that's always been what I cared about. And they were like, yeah, we'll get you up onto that. What's crazy is the dude, I'm going to say shout out to this guy, but he's one of the America's Most Wanted. Shout out to Jonah Fialkov, who started Blaze the World. He's also wanted. And so I can't access any of my stuff. And these were some of the first records that I did that were generating royalty checks, reasonably sizable royalty checks. And this record right here, that record, you know, on like the college charts, like I forget which charts, but I think it was like Insomniac and stuff like that, and all those college ones. It was number 2. So it was played on all the hip hop shows, whatever, and probably like 6 or 7 of them were played every day in like the Boston market on ERS and all the big stations we have, right? Blah blah blah. Bottom line is the checks were coming, and then they stopped, and I don't see anything from that album anymore because of his situation. And so now my thing, and what's funny is there was no Spotify at that time. So because this guy has been on the run since like 2009, right? I don't even know if I can. I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can actually just put that under my own stuff, because it's like I own the copyrights of it. You know what I mean? But it's like there's the tricky stuff. You got to go through all the problems where, okay, that's going to flag me as soon as I go to put that out, and it's going to ask me if I'm the copyright owner. I'm going to have to go through all that crap.
Did you licensed it, right? Or did you sign to?
I signed to it. I signed the deal with that. That was a contract for that album. But
you sure you own it?
Yeah, I do. I do. It's a very interesting, unique deal where I own that single and I own the physical albums, right? And we 50-50 split on the streams of that. That's just how that deal was. So yeah, it's a very interesting thing. And like, and partly I didn't know it at the time, but this guy was like legitimizing his other stuff through this deal. I was wondering why it was so favorable, you know, and even when I was doing the legal contracts, we were doing it with a pretty reputable lawyer in Boston. And it was just, the lawyer was like, wow, this is an amazingly favorable deal towards you. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
But the only thing that's hurt over time has been that I that's not on, like, it's under lyrical and it's only on certain mediums. You know, I think it's on a lot of the sites, but it's not on Spotify, for instance. You know, and it's weird. I mean, it's on Apple Music or whatever, but I kind of don't even like sending people there because I don't see anything from it anymore. It stopped cold turkey when he disappeared, like 3 years later. You know, so it's like weird.
I hear you, but it is. There's no question that streaming has really killed sales. I mean, it's really tough to sell records. Also because people don't actually, you know, there's a whole generation behind us that doesn't value music in the same way that we do when we were growing up. You know, it was a whole different world. I mean, because it's just so it's so available, and it feels like right. And if you're not sort of taught to pay for something, it's hard to get people back into the mindset of actually wanting to pay for it.
Yeah, we were talking about that too. And I was saying, like, there's a small pocket of people, I think, that we all have. I mean, some people's pockets are much bigger than my own, but I'm saying, like, there's a small pocket of people I have. And I was saying to Fee, it's probably 30 to 50 people who, like, every time there's something, they're buying everything. They'll buy the shirt, they'll buy the hat, they'll buy the record, they'll buy and they're calling me in advance kind of thing. And then there's like that other market of maybe 100 to 400 or 500 people who kind of like when they see you, they want to get it or whatever.
Yeah.
So it can sustain you when you're at a live show still. Because now the price is on, if you're willing to put something out on vinyl, it's selling for close to $100. I mean, people will buy that kind of stuff, right? And if he was on here talking about, he looked up our cassette that very first thing we had, one of those records was, we were like, hey, let's do cassette. It'll be a novelty or whatever, you know? And we put out a little cassette, even when those weren't really selling. And it's worth $125, you know, on all these sites, or whatever. And it's like, I only got 5 of them. You know what I mean? But it's like, but now you can put out a cassette, you can put out an album, and you can sell to your core crowd.
Yeah, to your real fans. Yeah.
Right. And they'll pay almost anything. I mean, up to a reasonable amount. You know, for color vinyl, they pay $100, you know. Yeah. Just like Europe does. I mean, we still get $50 to $100 offers on most of our vinyls for Europe. But then when you go to a place like this, it's like, how many do you bring? You don't want to be on a plane bringing like, you know, 100 pieces of vinyl if you're going to sell 30. You know what I'm saying? It's
I know
stuff, man.
Yeah, back in the day when I was actually spinning, I mean, and we'd go, you know, we'd be traveling, getting on planes to go places to, you know, and having to drag all that vinyl. It's heavy.
That's how I am every show. I still do. I get on there with my little blue bag and I stick everything I can in this one bag. It's like half the time it's, you know, you got 50% too little, 50% too much, and it's
the workout.
It's either way. You feel miserable. You're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Very rarely does it hit right on. Like, hey, I sold the last unit. You know, it's like, I got these. What am I going to do with these 30 pieces of vinyl? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Or 40 books. You know what I'm saying? But the crazy life of artists. Well, Fly, man. I think we're about to officially jump out. I'm going to let you enjoy your holiday festive room.
Yeah,
I still got to clear out some of my wife's wreaths before we can get into decoration, because she's in big mode right now. She's making wreaths for everybody all day today, and doing all that kind of stuff. My wife's got
it's the most wonderful time of the year, man.
It is, man. Yo, Charlie Brown Christmas, the 1966 joint, to me that does it. Man, my son loves that. We rock that in the car, and the Grinch. I mean, we rock the Grinch like the soundtrack.
Out shopping right now for decoration. This is my wife's out shopping for decorations right now, bro. This is a never-ending thing in my house, and we don't even traditionally celebrate Christmas. You know, like we pick a vacation spot and we travel for Christmas. We don't buy presents or anything like that. But she's so into the music and the decorations, and my kids always look forward to traveling. They don't write Christmas lists. They don't ask for presents or anything at all. It's like, Daddy, where we going this year? But she obsessed about the festivity of it, so I just let them.
Looking like you are. It's looking like you are too. I see where you're propped up. You're like, I'm like,
yeah, this is all her idea.
All right, well, she did well. She did well. Hey, look what I got.
I'm here for the ride, bro. You know how it is, man.
I'm all ready, man. I'm all ready. I got the winter.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well done.
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. We'll be rocking that soon.
Being a good husband, man. I'm just going for the ride, man. I'm just, you know, I'm here for financial support, you know.
You're funny. Well, I gotta get back. Yeah, honestly, and one more thing funny that's Angel too behind the scenes for you and I. A lot of times when I'm on Clubhouse, I can listen to Clubhouse all day. If I'm on Clubhouse and I'm in a room, I'm usually walking or cleaning or exercising or doing a math problem or doing something, right? I got the headphones on all day. But when I'm not, it's because I'm usually in here, right? And it's like I'm torn, because half the time I'll start with the phone and be right here, but I'm working on a track or something, and I'm like, I can't. But you're recording, you can't have this thing on. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, it's like I hate getting in a good room and then knowing that I have to jump out, and I'm like, I gotta finish. And I got like 7 different tracks right now that I'm in the middle of.
Yeah,
like, I just gotta find the time, you know. And this is that time to find the time. I'm sure that's your life.
It is the juggle, the constant juggling, and then the trying, and then the pull to be, continually connected to the people that you want to be connected to.
That's right. Be a good human.
Yeah, exactly, and just be a good human. I mean, I really felt the pull to be in that room with Tommy, because I know he was going through a lot. He lost his mom this year, and that first Thanksgiving is like the worst.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I wasn't in the rooms today. That's a perfect example. Was he talking on that stuff today?
more yesterday than today.
Yeah, I heard him yesterday. Yeah.
We touched upon it again today. But he was he was really up. I think it was really good for him to spend time with his family yesterday.
Oh, that's great.
In real life.
He's an amazing dude. He's an amazing person.
He's
just one of a kind. It's funny. Fee, Quo and I think I said this to you. Quo and I, we sat here. We were like, we were talking about Clubhouse before we even started going on. After that dad conversation with his dad, and I was like, bro, I don't really have a desire, quite honestly, to be on something like that. I think you'd be better at that than I will. I was like, I'll go on. And he'd be on there 24/7, like for a while, in a lot of the rooms. And I'll be like, okay, I'll go on. But I tried, you know what I mean? I'm like, I go on. Now I'm sucked into a lot of rooms that I like going into. I'm like, oh, got to check this out.
Yeah.
Tommy's I got to hear what Tommy's going to say. But I was like, I don't want to say praying. It wasn't like that serious, but I was like, I'm really hoping that I can meet somebody like you guys, and it was like thorough quality people who know what they're talking about, who are not there to play games, and not there to be like, oh, look at me, and that know what they're talking about. And I've always seen myself in terms of like, we all know what we can do as artists or whatever, but much like you with scoring, like that sounds so exciting to me. I can picture myself sitting to a scene and like really creating the scene, right? Whether it's creating the music from scratch or thinking about the things that go where they should. I love that. I love putting together an album and, making it perfect. I can't tell you how many arrangements we did in terms of like making the best sequence of stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff's so exciting. And to know people who were doing that kind of stuff, I was like, I could really see myself loving writing stuff for like movies and TV. I love that stuff. Give me free time. That's what I would love to do. And I hope I meet people that know that stuff, because that's what I want out of Clubhouse. I want to meet people who know that, and
yes,
really spend my time around those folks, that excites me.
It's cool. I mean, look, and come on Wednesday to Yvette's room to New Hollywood at noon.
Oh yeah,
do it, because that's a real high value, and we're going to be talking music, a lot of music, film, TV stuff in that room.
So dope.
So that's a good one to be in. But
I just don't get why more artists aren't into that. It's like, it seems so like, why would you, the first on that album, a dude trying to take 3 songs, $30,000 a pop, each one of them, took 3 of them. It crushed my soul when the 3 that he wanted were the 3 that had samples in it. He's like, I can't work with those. And I was like, it was $30K each one. And he was like, yo, I want this one, and this one. I got the movie. It's done. Here it is. Boom. And I was like, can I recreate those for you? He's like, no, I don't have the time for that.
That's the problem. That's the thing, is that there's no time. Normally with these things, it's a really fast turnaround. And especially for television, it's like immediate. You have to be able to just tell them yes, when they come to you. So it's, it's a real pain.
And I was like, if I get the chance to do some non-sample stuff coming up, and that's what we did on this. Well, most of it, you know what I mean? Most of it. And then the stuff I'm making now, I tell all the producers, I've been saying it for 4 years. I'm like, don't send me anything if they have samples in them.
Yeah.
And, don't even send it to me. I don't even want to mess with it. Every now and then, and then that'll, of course, be the one. Like, I'm just making this for a mixtape or something. And they're like, no, that's the one. Of course.
It's always the way. I can promise you. You got one track with a sample on it, on a out of 20 tracks, and that'll be the one that people want.
Yep.
It's and then it's prohibitive, and it's just, and it is a killer, because you want it to go. So I mean,
it's like, please, producers, just produce some sample free stuff. At least use the sample free clearance library, you know what I'm saying, that is out there too for some of your sounds. If you're, go in that direction, as opposed to like, why loop up some stuff like it's been done a bazillion times,
Exactly. No, I hear you, absolutely. But it's there's some good quality rooms to be in, and
really
people to learn from, and things you could do. But I hear what you're saying, the passion for doing that. That's why as soon as I really got into scoring for film and TV, that was my greater passion. It still is. I have to force myself to make records at this point. But
really,
I mean, and not that I don't enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but it's not my first love now really is working to picture. That is my
it's
happy
cool.
place.
It's cool. Yeah.
That's my happy place.
I get it. I can see why, even just the little bit that I've done on that, it's just so fun. And I love, what I have done a lot of, which I love, and I find it similar, is writing. I've done a lot for companies and corporations and writing songs and, I've done a lot of that. I love that. Like a lot of artists are like, oh, I don't want to do that. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I just did one for the mayor candidate out here. I'm like, I love that stuff.
You like writing to assignment. You like having,
love it.
And knowing what it is. And I'm the same way. I really love it. Like I like doing commercial stuff too, because it's,
something you never would have done on your own either.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, it's a brief and you got to hit the target, and it's not about you. It's about it.
Yep.
And it's a fast turnover, and there could be a million revisions, but it's like, if you are egoless about it, you can do really, really well. As long as you're not in your head
wedded to this thing that you did. It's like, I get it. You want it to be in the vein of what you're doing, but as long as it's like making the project better, it's like, I get it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. Well,
and
thanks so much.
Sometimes the notes don't even make it better, but you still have to do it. And you still have to be able to like tolerate that. You know what I mean? You got to be able to go, all right, listen, it's not what I would do if I were just down to my own devices. But if this is what they want, I'm going to give it to them. And that's it.
Yeah, I saw a movie that just came out that used our stuff. They just had a premiere in Massachusetts, and
nice.
I wasn't able to go to the premiere, but I saw sort of the preview of what it was going to be, and I was like, I don't know if I want to use it. And then I really, this was a draft, but in the back of your head, you're like, I could bring that in a different way. You know what I mean? When it's your song, because they just took our song as is kind of thing. It wasn't made for the movie, but it made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And in that case, you're kind of going, oh man, like I wish we could do, can I give you a different version?
Yeah.
Like that. But it's cool to see though. It's definitely a thrill.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And Fly's looking at someone over there. Fly. You're officially out, bro.
I was listening to the missus. I was listening to the missus.
I can tell you were. That's why I was saying it. That's what. Tell her she did a great job. Tell her she did a great job.
She did a spectacular job.
It's looking cozy.
Did an excellent job with the backdrop.
It's looking cozy.
So the tree is beautiful.
The tree's looking good.
Miss Angie said the tree is beautiful.
Hey, at my house, we've had the discussion. My wife knows I'm a clod. She's like, you are gaudy everything. You know what I'm saying? She's like, and I'm like, am I really? So she's taught my son that daddy is like, who out of the two is more cheesy? Now my son knows the word cheesy. He's like, definitely daddy is cheesy. Daddy is cheesy. I'm good with it. I'm okay with it. I'm bright bulbs or whatever and all that stuff. I'm very Lowell Christmas, as my wife says. She's like, you're very Lowell. I don't deny it. You know what I'm saying? I don't deny it.
I'm usually probably
that is not gaudy though.
Probably tempers everyone else in the house. Everyone else seems to be a little more, mom and the kids. And I'm just like, oh, let's kind of scale that back, or not so much.
Right.
So we balance each other out. It's perfect.
My wife is classically refined. And I was like, I caught her in a moment of weakness, clearly. She'll co-sign that one.
Man is crazy.
She will co-sign that one. She'll be like, what was I doing? This rapper guy come from? Yo, you actually, what's funny is you heard me saying that story, the legit side of that, Angel. That song I played the other night. I don't know if you were checking that out. That was literally the deal. She was like, this dude. She's like, I got to learn this guy's song. What's he saying in that track? Like, who is this guy? Yeah. And I was like, yo, don't, you got me all wrong. And she was like, no, I got you right. You're a rapper from Lowell. Your family, you got a bunch of gang affiliations and all this kind of, she's like, what are you? I was like, yo, hear me out. I was like, I'm enrolled for my master's. At the time I was like,
right.
I got a bachelor's degree in business. I've run like 3 companies and like, I'm a teacher and I'm an adjunct college professor at the time. She was like, really? She was like, okay, that's different. I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you that. Yeah. I was like, I'm trying to be a professor, So that album, when it came out, man, this is more talking pro stuff. When that album came out in 2006, it won for album. Well, it won for album of the year in Massachusetts. And I was actually, the interesting thing is I was also promoting the show that it was in, but which was funny, but I had to. And so that album wins for album of the year. And how do I follow it up? I enroll for my master's. You know what I'm saying? I go, yeah, I was, I was like, I got to get this master's. I got to get it. And then I got to get, and I found her and I was like, I got to get that doctorate. I got to make the other side match. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
bro, you did just that
and
too.
you did it. Yeah, you did it.
Stole her away. So, yeah, just in a moment of weakness.
Game on, bro. Hey, you got to strike when the iron's hot, B.
You got to do it. You got to do it. Definitely made it work.
Right
Yes, sir. Love Jones. All right. Actually, last thing too. She is on a movie. She's on what's it called? Milkwater on Netflix. She had a placement on there too, and man, she had a good little deal. She just had to come in and sing a few. She had sang her song on there.
Nice.
And I was watching the credits the other day. I was like, "Have you even seen the movie?" She's like, "No, I haven't even watched it." She's like that. Me, I'd be watching it. I'd be eating my popcorn, watching that thing. She's like, "No, I'm good." She's like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Nice.
She's doing the thing. All right, y'all. Well, we out of here. Thanks for coming through.
Good to see you.
Pleasure, Miss Angel.
Same here.
The Angel. You need to add another E to that. That should be the Angel.
The Ohio State is the Angel. LD's got his evening attire on.
All right.
LD's checking back in.
Oh, Charlie's back.
He's got his evening attire on. He's got his evening collection.
Had to put the glasses on, bro.
Yes.
We went from Charlie to Charlie Wilson on us.
Yeah.
I see you.
Yeah.
Yo. Charlie Wilson and Big Daddy Kane.
So I'll be seeing you on Clubhouse next.
You'll be seeing me on those Clubhouse streets. Yes.
Indeed.
Absolutely. You know what? I haven't been on there really. I was actually sitting in a room, but I was supposed to talk on something. It was, I'm not even going to go there with the topic was, but I had to jump in that, but I forgot I was even in it. I had to put the phone down, make my son's lunch. And I was like, yo, forgot I was even in there. What's been going on? It looked like I was in there for 4 hours, but I was in there for like 20 minutes.
Got it. Yeah, that happens sometimes. You just got to, you want to support, so you don't want to.
Yeah, no, I just had the headphones on. It was on the table and I couldn't even hear it. I was like, oh, damn, I didn't even know that was on.
I know.
And I got back on and it was on and popping when I jumped in there. I was like,
wow.
Crazy.
Oh, wow. Right on.
All right, y'all. LD, peace, y'all. Thanks, Angel.
Good night.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
LD, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Well, at least the day after Thanksgiving. All right, man. Appreciate it. I'll hit you soon. Peace. And to all, a good night. Thanks for everybody coming through. Anniversary show. Peace to Angel. Peace to LD. Peace to Fly. Cody Pope. Fee. You know. And it's a wrap. Peace, y'all.